Somebody get Amaya a record deal. Ace, if you are 5'10", I'm 6'6". And guys, we officially have our first closed off couple, Shelly and Nick. Welcome to Showmance, the only show on the internet doing deep dives on shows with no depth.
Shows as shallow as Grayson's capacity to understand that Hannah was Pepe's reason for the season, and she's never going to replace that little ding dong.
Hannah was whose reason?
Pepe.
Who?
Oh, Pepe.
Oh,
Pepe.
Pepe. Yeah,
They-
Pepe. Pepe won me over this week.
I need to know why, but we can get into
we'll
it.
Get to it.
Mhm.
I love me some Pepe.
Okay, guys, so, when I was reading the commentos to see what I wanted to talk about tonight, I was like, wait, I'm on the wrong episode because this happened like 3 weeks ago, what everyone's talking about. No, that's just how fast things move in Love Island.
Yeah.
When people were talking about Casa Amor, I'm like, Casa Amor?
Yeah,
Casa Amor is 2 weeks ago.
I know.
It was last Tuesday. What the fuck?
I feel so gypped on Casa Amor, just like from how it was like
You are
like
gypped.
just like the amp that it had from everyone. I don't mean just like the questions I was asking you about it. I mean like from just every podcast everywhere that was like, well, wait till they get to Casa. And at this point now, it's almost like the bathrooms broke at Villa, and so they stuck them over here for a minute. Like that's what it felt like. It was so nothing and just anticlimactic and just snooze.
No,
really.
it was. It's you need to go back and watch a different season just so you can
Yeah.
get the full Casa Amor
And I
experience.
am, because clearly we want to keep doing. We love the show probably more than anything in the whole entire world. And so if we want to do whatever the thing that's happening in July, which is all
Beyond the
from-
Villa?
yeah, all from last season's cast, I think.
Yes, it is.
Yeah, so we're gonna have to power through.
Just last season? They're not like season 5ers or 4s or like some UK people?
I watched the sneak preview and it seemed like it was just the season 5 because we're on what, season 6? Season
Mhm.
7. This is
Season
season
6
7.
of US. Oh, no.
We're on season 7 of
That's
US.
Yes.
Yeah,
So
yeah.
I think seemed like it was just season 6 people
Yeah.
and Beyond the Villa. But I'm telling you, you should also watch season 5
Yeah.
just when you have time. I know it's a lot of episodes because it really is a great season.
This really is totally just the new modern version of Horror Island, because it just like having your all-stars now come back. Like I bet they probably will start compiling more from past seasons, other countries, why would you just use one season? It seems, I understand that last
You mean
season was
for
a
Beyond the
massive
Villa?
banger. Yeah.
Oh,
But,
yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
It just
Well-
seems like they should start adding all the popular kids.
And there also seems like there'll be time here soon, if not now, for Love Island International. So it's all the best All Stars.
Global.
International or Love Island. Oh, wait, there's probably already All Stars, right?
No.
I think
Well,
there is.
no, there's like a Love Island Games or All-Star Games, but I don't think
I think there's I thought I saw a Love Island All Stars.
I think you're right, but I didn't think it was like the traditional Love Island. I thought they were doing it something with a twist.
Wonder if they could ever pull off doing like Celebrity Love Island. That was just like from all the show, like Bravo shows and like Big Brother shows
so here
and
for
like
that.
all that. Oh my
So
God,
here for
that'd
that.
be so good.
Okay, wait, while Mike finds out about Love Island All-Stars, I want to discuss how we do this because so much has happened,
Yeah.
okay, that I'm thinking that we go through couples, singles, and then we specifically get into the stand-on business portion of the show because obviously it's the last thing we saw, but also it kind of it blew everything up in a certain sense.
I just don't know how, like, since that. Okay, here's the thing. We do this only once a week. We don't come on and do a show every night. We would if we could, seriously. Like I am tempted to like want to do a show every single night after this thing. I'm not doing it. I'm just saying. But trying to obviously go through the episodes, it really always comes down to whatever happened on the Tuesday night. It seems to bring everything that's happened. It all seems sort of not irrelevant, but it was just sort of like a build to where we finally find ourselves. So I am not sure how to talk about the couples in a way that would make any sense that doesn't include
Standing on business.
yeah, because
Okay.
like that was just so like I mean, we
Yeah,
could
no,
try,
let's do it. Let's do it.
but like if it leaks into it, it does. We don't have to worry that like that should be we'll just make sure that we've talked about it all by the end, I
Yes,
guess.
and we just have to be careful that we don't stray from
Yeah.
our people because so many
Yeah.
of the questions that were asked
Yeah.
entailed someone else.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
It wasn't just like, Huda, why did you pick this bathing suit to wear? It wasn't like a straightforward
Yeah.
Huda question.
Yeah.
Okay, so Huda,
Yeah.
woulda, shoulda. Let's get into it.
Yeah. Okay.
Oh, something I did want to just blanket statement make because you guys have never watched this before. This is, correct me if I'm wrong, y'all, everybody out there watching. I feel like this is the messiest season we have had thus far.
Yeah.
And
I blame Ace.
yeah, you can. I'm so out on him now, so have at it. I know the producers are doing their thing. I just really want them, like, it's okay. So far, it's all been acceptable, but let's just be careful because part of what makes this show so magical is the feel good nature of it, is people like
Yeah.
being these young adults and having these sweet moments. And we
Yeah.
don't need to it's not the housewives. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah. Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
okay.
Yeah. One
Just-
thing that for myself to take forward after this was that until I ever can really understand what the rules are of this show, and like, it seems to me like maybe possibly no one actually knows because they seem to maybe have just changed a little bit this year, or a way that things used to go don't seem to be the case for this season. That's kind of like what I've gathered from everyone. I need to stop getting so irate at people because they could just be playing the game.
It's a game. This is what I learned this week.
Yeah.
Watching the apps, reading all the comments. I told Shannon Fall I'll read her comment later, but we went out of town last weekend for Natalie's stepdad's thing, and I told her, I'm like, oh, I'm convinced this is a game now. I'm like, Natalie, I said, I'm convinced it's a game, and I'm convinced now that Ace is running this whole thing. And I told Natalie even, I was like, for any of you who have watched us for a while and heard my partial rants about broadcast television on its way out and the internet taking over, if you guys don't believe me, a 22-year-old TikTok star just took over Love Island. Tell me I'm fucking wrong. Like, so at that point, I was like, this is a game show. Like, this is a game show. And if I was pitching this game show, the front page of my deck would say Love Island. Love is a game. Want to play? That's this show.
That really is like, if I just saw that on the title card, I
Sold.
would have so fewer questions. Like it would just say so much that like, no, you are here. It's great if you find love, but like this is a game. Like this is a competition. This is
a game show.
strategy and building alliances and
This is Survivor and Whore Island, aka Bachelor in Paradise. It's The Bachelor, The Bachelorette. It's Love is Blind because the conversations are so good. Like it's all the things.
Yeah, the voyeuristic conversations.
But at the end of the day, this is a game show. And the only reason it's been so successful in finding like marriages and partners, because it has way more than The Bachelor.
3 couples from last season are still together.
Yeah, and there's 6 marriages and 15 couples total. Like that's
Multiple
blows
babies.
The Bachelor out of the water.
Yeah.
But it's like I think we talked a little bit about this last week. The Bachelor franchise is a person and 30 other people, randoms, right? Like maybe, probably you'll find some of it. Love Island is all like-minded people, like-minded young hot party people who are like to chat and like to be, like they're all kind of this similar people. So like, yeah, that makes sense that you're going to find someone that you might marry or at least have a lasting relationship with.
At least build a nice sponsored post with.
At least that, right? Little bikini deals.
Little Iantropic action.
Yeah. But yeah, no, I told Shannon Fall, I'm like, Natalie red pilled me on the car ride because she was like, what about this? And then there was this. And then Ace did that. And then remember that little guy? He did that. And I was like, fuck. And then we stopped and I started going through the comments and I was like, yeah, you got me. This is a game show and a 22-year-old TikToker is running it.
So,
I don't know how well he's doing, and I don't think he's hiding
bitch.
it. I mean, he's doing good. He's not hiding the fact that he's playing the game well, but I mean, up until the last couple of days, he seemed to be doing it quite well.
Wait, I have to tell you guys a cute story. So a girlfriend of mine, she just started dating this guy and like really likes him, and he's very they're a lot alike, but their differences are differences, right? So
Yeah.
like she wants to watch Love Island, he wants to go listen to like a Tara Brock talk and then watch like a French movie, right? And so
Huh?
she had said to him, she's like, I have to be honest with you, like I really hope that one day you could watch Love Island with me. And he's like, okay, I'm gonna have to think about that. And then he showed up at her apartment one day and he's like, all right, you have to sit down. I have to tell you something. And she was very nervous that this was not going to be a good thing. And she goes, he said, I'm ready to watch Love Island with you. And they watched it. And this real cerebral meditator, reader, whatever, was like, wait, what is this show? He fell in love with it. And the next day, he sends her a voice note that I heard. And it's the most adorable thing ever. He's like, telling her like, oh, hey, I'll be over later because this, that, and the other. He's like, and also, I just want to let you know, they did Alondria so dirty. And like, there were 3 separate voice notes because he kept remembering things. I'm like, it really is.
And another thing.
It's for all of us.
Yeah.
Like if you know people at home, this is a PSA to those people who are not watching Love Island yet. Do yourself a favor. The world is dark enough. It's hard enough. Tune into this, send this to a friend.
Yeah.
We need all of the sloppy makeouts and love fests and weird challenges where people are doing things that I didn't know bodies could do. It's a feel good show.
Yeah, I'm not.
Feel good on your boner.
Yeah, if you're into boners, that part is. I
I fear those feel great.
Yeah.
If you're into boners.
I don't know. I'm into boners, but I'm not into the challenge. Like they're little.
No,
they
the
get a little
challenges
much
are
sometimes.
cringy.
But I'm finding this out about myself. I'm obsessed. And this happened on Love is Blind when we started watching Love is Blind a year or 2 ago. I'm obsessed with watching people talk, like just talk and get to know each other. I don't know what it is. And everybody's gonna be like, oh, yeah, it's called a podcast, dummy. That too. I love long form podcasts. I like watching them. Everyone's like, this one's like,
Like a
she'll listen.
showcast?
Like a
Like a
YouTube
showcast.
show. Showcast, fine. I'm like, do whatever you want. But like on the side note, I think about that all the time. This is a little thing where we go like, well, what is a podcast anymore? What is a YouTube show? Like, what are we doing? What is this thing called?
A showcast.
Yeah, we've told you.
No, I know. But the other day I was realizing, because I heard somebody say, oh, they do a YouTube show. And I was like, interesting. It used to be called a TV show because it was on TV. And now it's on. So like a YouTube show seems to make sense as well. Anywho.
Can we get into it?
Sure.
Oh, wait, did you have more to say? I just didn't know if you were going to start to talk about big dumb truckers again.
I know, which you
Multiple
did get
comments.
Yeah, you did.
Multiple. Don't say you got I got.
I only saw one that literally had
multiple.
all 3 of your like.
Yeah, I only saw
multiple.
one.
Yeah, I only saw one.
Yeah.
Not to worry, I pulled them. Stay
Of
tuned for
course
later.
you did.
By the way, I
boy.
sent Mike the opening to that show.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. You
And
can
I was
play
like,
it. It's
this-
amazing.
And that's it.
This had him fooled.
So I already know the beginning, middle, and end. So
But
probably
you'll be
My
amazed.
favorite
at
was
how
when
crazy
Nat
it
goes,
is.
I am dying to know how this relates to Love Island.
Because I really thought, because I space out all the time. I enter and exit and re-enter conversations all the time. So it's like one of my biggest, fattest insecurities of just like, I missed that whole thing. I have no idea what we're talking about anymore. And so I was convinced I missed I lost the plot.
You didn't. There was no plot. We were on a road to nowhere in Alaska. Okay. Anyway, so I feel like let's just start off with Alandria, Taylor, and Clark.
Okay.
I said in the beginning, I feel like these two are better off as friends
Yeah.
than they, like I was pulling for them and I
Yeah.
said they could be our sleeper hit couple, like super slow burn, right?
Yeah.
But my one concern, my one note with them is I feel like they're better friends than they are lovers.
Yeah.
And Taylor keeps saying like, I just had these little kid feelings and I just felt stuff that I wasn't feeling when I was with Alandria. I think what he means is like we had more of like a friend vibe, and with Clark, I have a boner. Also, Taylor is a real pecky kisser. He does a lot of pecks.
Yeah.
Like everyone else is licking from teat to forehead, and
Yeah.
he's very just something I noticed. Anyway, what do you guys think about this? What do you think about Clark, Taylor, Alondria?
Taylor can go himself.
Oh, you need to learn how to form an opinion.
This guy, dude. I mean, whatever. I get what he's saying. Like, oh, I'm here for me, and yeah, you're all there for yourselves. But he just, I don't know. He fooled me. I thought he was. I didn't think that he would go so hard for so long on a girl that he wasn't into. And I just thought he was weird. Not weird in a bad way, but
Yeah.
like just weird at communicating his affections and whatever. But I really thought those two, I was in on them. I was like, dude,
Yeah.
I fucking love these two. And then he did too many Woody from Toy Story things. Like he went right back to Woody. My whole thing of his glow up because of confidence, and he won. It's right back to. I look at him now. I'm like, where did all that go?
Yeah, you're like, little boy
he
again.
It's worse now.
Yeah, ever since
Totally.
he picked Clark, and like, fine. I'm not hating on him for picking Clark. I'm kind of hating on him for dragging Alondria for so long.
For how he did it.
Yeah, for how
Yeah,
he
it
did it,
sucked.
and like, cool that you guys were never closed off. Great, fine. You guys are pretty fucking, like, it was pretty.
Close.
After
Yeah,
Jalen
like-
went home, it really, without saying we're closed off,
Yeah.
it really felt like we are giving this a complete 360-degree go.
Yeah,
you know?
everybody was respecting that.
Yeah.
It wasn't a Huda Jeremiah thing where they
No.
were like, "No, she'll kill you. Don't touch him." It was no, this could be a thing over here. So like, I'm just annoyed. I'm annoyed that he's a country dude that didn't man up. I'm annoyed that he's a rancher or a farmer and he didn't man. Like you have all, and I'm sorry if I'm being sexist, but like you have all these manly jobs and things that you're supposed to, like, you have a image to uphold. These
Yeah.
people like you're a
Yeah.
fucking rancher, dude. You guys are supposed to be dudes.
Yeah,
Like,
for all the things you don't like about those kinds of people, one thing you can rely
Yeah,
is that
they're
they
gonna
stand
be
by their
that kind
woman,
of people.
and
Yeah.
they know they mean business,
Yeah,
and
which
they
is
don't fuck around.
Alondria has said multiple times throughout this process, I like a country man, and this is why I like a country man.
Yeah.
Because they know X, Y, and Z. You want to hear some real shit? I didn't fact check this because we don't do that here. But
Boring.
somebody was like, oh, Jalen is not the dude that said I banged 5 chicks in one day. That was a dude from like a whole other
Yeah.
series. Sorry, Jalen.
Yeah, I was going to say, how did both of us miss
Yeah.
that?
Yeah,
You
that
know-
would have been a bit much. But now, like, gosh, she's probably really wishing Jalen was still around. So,
Oh yeah.
yeah, Taylor really has disappointed me in the last few days.
Also, when Alondria was talking about in the stand on business thing at the end, when she was getting questioned, first of all, I think she answered them so well. I feel like she was not, when she was up on the podium
Yeah.
or whatever, trying to watch her sodium. What's that rap song? Standing at the podium trying to watch my sodium. Okay, anyway,
That
fine.
is
What
not a
rap were you
fucking
listening
rap
to?
song, dude. Church rap?
No, I think it was like
diet rap?
some like Eminem lyric. I don't know. Joe Schmo,
It's
you
when
got
she
lyrics?
got her Jenny Craig sponsorship when
Exactly.
she first moved here.
Okay, point being though, is when Taylor got up there and she did, I listen, I didn't want to see her crack, but I felt good. I felt like she needed to release some of that
Yeah.
stuff.
Yeah.
And I loved when she said, like, basically, fuck you, dude. When Jalen was here, I was so respectful towards both of you.
Mhm.
I told you everything that happened. I gave you equal attention. I couldn't have played that any better.
Yeah.
And as soon as Clark shows up and you say that you want to, and by the way, this has nothing to do with Clark. This has to do with how you are acting. You say you want to still talk or you're not closing off or whatever, but you've totally iced me out.
Yeah.
And I thought it was such a good point because everything moves so quickly in this show that I forgot Jalen even was on this season, quite
Yeah.
frankly. And when she brought that up, I was like, oh God, I would be so pissed also that if I was her, I went so far out of my way to treat you both with such respect. And it took you, 3 days to erase what we had built in 3 weeks, which is fine because then clearly you don't like me that much, but at least show some respect.
Yeah.
and you didn't, Taylor. And he just was a massive letdown, and he seems like he's shrunken out of it. Like, remember in Big, where at the end of the movie he goes back to the little kid and he's in the suit and whatever. It's like that's what happened to Taylor. He just went
Totally.
back to this little
Yeah.
kid, and it's like,
that's a good one.
Like, you couldn't even understand his words anymore. Like they had to start captioning him after that demise, like after that like regress.
Yeah,
That's how hard he regressed. Is that he wasn't even speaking English words anymore. Like he was
because he was embarrassed.
He was
Like,
embarrassed.
so
He
He's
had-
embarrassed of what he did to Alondria. Like
Yeah.
he's not embarrassed that he picked Clark. Fine, you like Clark better. You're more attracted to her. You have a better connection. Whatever. Also, again, just I don't think she's coming to the ranch. That's just my opinion.
At
yeah,
all.
that
Me
was the
either.
first thing
know.
that he said. He was like, "Good luck getting Clark to the ranch."
Yeah,
Yeah.
Clark-
She ain't going.
No,
Correct.
No, she's not gonna like it there.
no, she
But
does not seem
God,
like a ranch.
Now, you
Yeah.
guys, I foresee he's probably rethinking his whole life and going, "I'm moving to the city. I'm moving to LA, and I'm gonna like." I could see him
Maybe.
thinking.
That would
No,
be a big
he-
fat bummer.
No, stay on the ranch,
There
Taylor.
is a line that I can't remember. It's probably a Sex and the City line because they all are. But like, I think it was when one of the ladies said, I was the most interesting thing about you. Like, is that from Sex and the, like, do you know that line?
Yeah, but I can't. God, and I usually know all of these.
Joe Schmo?
Yeah, Joe.
I was the
Whatever.
most interesting thing about you, and I'm out. And so you are like, that's how I feel. Like I want Taylor to know
Yes.
she was the most interesting
yes.
thing about you. And now you are literally like a fly to be flicked to the side. Like I'm sorry, I know that's harsh because you've been pretty sweet this whole time, but I think that we just appreciated your sweetness because of the context that we saw it in with Alondria, like in your orbit.
Well,
Like it was
that. Yeah, it was a little. It was that. It was the whole like we always talk about. Like Craig was an idiot until Paige liked him, and then we were
Street
like,
cred
"Wait
from
a
your
minute,
woman."
Hold
Yeah,
on, she likes
yeah.
you. What the heck? That happens
Yeah.
to me all the time. But like it was just it seemed dishonest. His
Yeah.
whole thing with Alondria seemed and meant like. Listen, I admit I got snowed. So many people were like, he doesn't like her. He's not interested in her. He's not attracted to her. They kiss weird. He doesn't like her. He doesn't like her. They don't like each other. And I was like, shame on you. This is love. And I just, so mad.
I always thought that they had that there was no like spark there, but I thought it's so hard that I had to check myself and go, Natalie, you don't know every relationship. You like a certain kind of relationship. That's not one you'd be involved in. So that doesn't mean that it's not a real they seem to really respect each other and really have a lot in common, and they could be great partners and all the things. So it was so far no chemistry that I circled back around and thought, I just don't understand this chemistry.
Yeah.
But it doesn't mean it's not real.
You tricked yourself.
Yeah, I tricked myself because I wanted so badly to believe that these two were just gonna like be. I thought they were gonna win.
Yeah, I mean, spoiler alert. And at this point, now that I'm like, oh, this is a game show 100%, now I'm like, whatever it takes for Alondria to win the game and be happy, that's all I care about. If anything other than that happens, I will still have completely enjoyed this show and we'll watch it again. But I'll be bummed at the outcome.
No one,
if anything else happens.
Every couple that I pick that I want to win, they never win.
Great.
Like I never am able to pick it with this show. Never, not once, not ever. And I've seen a lot of them.
Yeah, I mean, listen, we talked a little bit about it, and I don't like. It seems like Amaya is probably going to win just because everyone's going to be like, "Oh,
But
fuck
she
all
doesn't
you
even have
all."
a couple.
But
She doesn't
this
have a
is
Do you
what I'm
have to have a
wondering, though.
couple?
The couple. Oh, they have to be in a
You
couple to
can't
win.
just vote for Amaya to win.
Boo! I did not
It's the
know
couple
that.
wins.
I thought that it was that like they could win, and then they chose whether they were going to split it with their partner, so that the prize was $100,000, and that any like two people, like a guy and a girl, were going to win this $100,000, and then like they would, if they were together, great, it's 50-50. If they weren't, it would be 25 and 20. But they would decide if they were going to split it or not.
Decide if they. I don't know. I don't remember.
Oh my
No,
god!
but a couple wins. It's not a person. It's a couple.
What if there's? I remember
that's a
something.
huge
So
bummer.
there's the top 4 couples at
It's
the end,
there's like 4 couples or 3 couples at the end, and then you see
and
who
then
comes
you
in first,
vote.
second, and third.
Everyone votes for their favorite
America.
couple. What if there's
America.
only Nick and
America.
Sierra at the end?
That
They
won't.
just-
I mean, that's never happened before.
Yeah, people will get together at a certain point just because like it's survival and it's like
What
you want
if
any
there's
shot at
7
winning.
couples? How do they get to the final 3?
It gets whittled down to the final 3. I don't remember how it happens though, but like the last few episodes of the show, it's like the final 4 couples or final 3 couples.
Dang, so we're coming up on that.
So we're getting there.
I don't
Wait,
like it. I don't like
Mike, you keep saying this thing that I'm confused about.
Welcome
Hey-
to the club.
Pepe
Pepe.
Pepe and Grayson are a couple. Well, we're a couple because clearly we saw how that ended at the end of the
Yeah,
night, which to me
Pepe.
was like,
Pepe slept in a doghouse.
Pepe, grow some cojones and let's maybe tell her in a nicer, more kid glove way.
Yeah.
Why did he win you over this?
Do you
Because he
remember?
really lost me this episode.
Did you just hear me? He goes, "Do you remember
No, for real.
You've only
Probably
said it
because
8
it
was a
times since I
moment.
got here.
the brunette on the toast?" She gave us her pitch, and you were like she was like,
It wasn't
"If you're
that.
sleeping on Pepe, that says more about you
Yeah.
than it does about me."
No, I had already flipped on Pepe.
Oh, you had?
Was it? It was either last night or the night before. Something happened, and I'm just brain farting on what it was. But something happened. Oh, it was when What's-Her-Face came to explore him. And he just kind of politely was like,
Adrena.
when Adrena was like, hey, blah, 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 I want to see what, if there's anything here. And just, his answer to her was very nice. It was very like, I'm not really, like, I get why we're here, but like, it's not my jam. Like, I like to focus on one person at a time.
But
It
I
was
see. I
something
thought
like
that was so. I agree. I'm glad like he told her no
It's
instead of
weird
leaving her on.
given the circumstances of the show that he's in, but for me, I was like, oh.
Well, no,
one
it's
woman.
weird saying I like to
Yeah.
focus on one person at a time because after he said that, I was like, oh my God. First of all, Pepe, I literally forget that you're on the show until you pop in once an episode. And I'm like, oh, right. It's the guy with the bad haircut and bad facial hair. But when Adrena went up, shot her shot, however you say that. And he said, no, I was like, oh, wow, he must really like Grayson because he wants to just focus on her. And within 2 hours, he was like, yeah, I don't really like you, Grayson. So I just was like, well, then who do you like?
He likes Hannah. And I'm telling you guys, this season, I hope that, it gets back on track later. But right now, it's off the tracks. And I think that there's nothing that whoever is fucking in charge of this show, there's nothing off limits. I think you should bring Hannah back. I think she got the rawest deal. I think in turn it gave Pepe a raw deal. And like I said, you've not really been following from what as a first time listener, first time caller. I haven't. It seems to me that nothing is really falling in place in the per usualness.
You're totally
of
right.
the show. So
correct.
So go ahead and you've blown it already. So like don't stop there. Don't stop now. Bring Hannah back and let them see what they can muster up. And I am so now convinced that is why those girls sent her home, is because I think that they saw something that I don't really know if America was seeing, because when Jeremiah gets kicked off, he goes on and does his podcast tour. And when they asked him who he thought would win, Jeremiah said, I thought that Hannah and Pepe were going to win, which like none of us even saw a glimmer of, like we knew that they were together and having a nice time, but like, it makes me think that they didn't show something, that like they were a lot stronger. And look at Pepe can't even get over it. So clearly they were a lot stronger than anybody led us to know about.
Yeah, I don't like Hannah. I don't not like Hannah. I'm like, whatever. She's just boring to me. But I would, at this point, I'm not going to argue. I would say, yeah, bring Hannah back.
Same.
Only because I would like to know what happened. Like, what happened an hour before your ass got kicked off the fucking island? Because clearly something happened. something clicked between the two of you. You had a conversation. We didn't get to see it, but it was so moving and so like life changing in regards to Love Island
Yeah.
life. Like that it was like, oh, we're on lockdown. This is a shit. But what do you mean? No, hold on. Like, oh, actually, my bad. That was fucking Charlie and Hannah. I'm thinking of somebody else.
Yeah.
Charlie
That
and
was
Hannah.
Charlie.
And Charlie did
I
say,
think that
he was like, you guys don't know this, but like we just had this great conversation.
Yeah.
Like we're in it to win it. So yeah.
So I'm sorry, Hannah.
no. But
Fuck off.
listen, this is
I
what I'm
want
telling
Charlie.
you. Something
Well,
else
Hannah has to
happened
come back.
because
I
all
want to
of
know
this
what
doesn't
happened
add
with
up.
Hannah and Charlie. I want to know what that thing was.
I
what
think
the
they just
conversation
decided
was.
to.
Boot Charlie, which is honestly egregious. I'm still not over
Oh
that.
yeah, no, that was ridiculous.
But
but
what changed with Hannah and Charlie?
Nothing changed with them.
Something did because she was exploring Pepe or
She was
something.
exploring Pepe and Charlie, and
then
she
he
told,
got mad and did
Well-
his little temper tantrums, my homeboy. And then they had their little talk, which we didn't really see.
Where
a
like they
ton
dropped
of.
some walls. And
Yeah.
no, they did show us
A little bit, but
a
not
decent amount
enough
of it.
to be like, oh wow, this is a whole change. And then
Well, but-
next thing you know, he's like, does his whole speech like,
Oh no, I felt like they did show us the whole change.
Yeah, and she even is like talking to, I think maybe Amaya or someone else, and she's like, she's like, the depth that I have, like I don't have like that depth with Pepe. And granted, she obviously ends up having that later on, but like at the time she was saying, I'm comparing these two, and what I have with Charlie is just so much deeper, and like the conversations
And
we're
it's
having
real.
and everything, and it's real, and it's just not the kind of conversations I'm having with
Yeah.
Pepe. So I think that we
just don't
saw all
remember
that, and I
her
think
and
that
Charlie's conversation. Like
I
when,
do,
when
like it was
Charlie
yesterday.
came out and was like, "Oh man, you don't even understand. We just had the most amazing moment." I was like,
Yeah,
okay,
they were like
cool."
laying down and they were really getting like deep
No,
with each other.
I remember them. I don't remember anything happening within that conversation to make me go, "Yeah, Charlie, you're right."
Oh,
Like,
see, I do.
I
I felt
was
like, oh my God,
stunned
this
that-
is the couple.
I was double stunned. I was
Dude.
stunned because I thought he was going to offer himself to go home, like just lay on the sword, which I would have been like, "Oh my God, you're the best." And then when he didn't, I was like,
Wait, when who didn't?
Charlie.
No, Charlie got kicked out.
No, but before, when he was like, when they found out one of the three dudes was going home, and then you see Charlie kind of be like, hold on, mates, hold on, like quiet, everybody quiet. I was like, oh, he doesn't have, this backs up my point, and I didn't even think about it. I thought that he was gonna offer himself to leave because his connection with Hannah was just not there, and that maybe she had something with Pepe. So when he then said,
You got to go back and rewatch this because they
don't have
had
to do
such
anything.
an intense for Love Island conversation. Don't you remember when they were talking?
I listen, I do. I remember all the things that you're not remembering. I remember that those things all happened. I still was not super convinced. Like when she did, like just like the bellowing that she let out when he left, like I was like, oh, I didn't know it was that serious. Like I also thought that Charlie, and I love Charlie, and he was the cutest one, and I wanted him to stay and be happy. But I did think that half of that, like, wait, but let me just say this one thing, came from him wanting to stay, like just to do the entire experience, not because he would like. I think that he really did care about Hannah,
Yeah,
and I think that
totally.
I think it really like, you always figure out who you really like when somebody else starts to like him too, and then you're like,
Yes.
wait, but I like Josh.
I love Josh.
Yeah. So I'm I'm right in the middle, I think, between the two of you, but all the things happen that you don't remember.
But
I just think that
this-
Charlie also has a little bit of the, I want to stay, mate. This is so fun.
I mean, listen, I'm the one that said Charlie was a player from the jump.
I don't think that's you took it to a new level though. Like I don't think he's a
I didn't
player.
take it to a new level.
I think you
I
could
just said
really
he
like
didn't
someone
want a
and want to keep
long-term-
exploring them, but also know that like you might not marry this person, and
Yes.
and I'm here and it's only week 3 or like whatever it
But
is. You know,
see, this brings us to a more overarching problem that I have with this season. Even though I love this season,
Yeah.
please keep it. Can we have like Love Island during the winter?
Yeah, I want it
spring,
every
summer,
single
fall?
day of my life.
Correct. And by the
Every
way,
day.
when it ends, the depression is so real because you have something to do basically every night. You're like, oh, I'm going to tune in and see what my friends in the villa are doing. Anyway,
Yeah, no, I'm already feeling it.
whether they were going to stay together or not, right? Like it felt like, oh shit, here's a real connection that people have said, okay, I'm going to put my walls down. You're going to put your walls down. I'm not putting all my eggs in your basket. We're not closing off, whatever other fucking terms they're using.
Yeah, yeah.
But like the engine got revved a little bit.
Yeah.
We didn't pull the car out of the garage, but the engine was revving.
Yeah.
And I feel like we have been in a failure to launch state with
Yep.
so many of these other couples. Like there are so many couples that we can quickly just cross off our list for this episode because there's such big shit to talk about.
Yeah.
But like TJ and Iris seems sweet, but whatever. Exactly. Brian and Andrina. By the way, I still don't know how to pronounce her name, and she's been there for over a week.
I
No
like
idea who Brian is.
I want to see more Brian.
But again,
I don't know why, but he just seems like
no, he seems nice.
interesting.
But my point is, none of these people have anything, and at this point in the season, in prior seasons, we should have a spark at least somewhere. That we don't have that much of it. So those guys are all off the docket, and then you look at Amaya Papaya. And Zach, who I love Amaya Papaya, and well, let's open it up to talk about all of this because Amaya is such a big part of the.
Sorry, she's a sensitive gangster. Jesus Christ.
Was that not
if
the
that's
best?
not a t-shirt, I don't know what is.
The best.
Everything she says is the best. This is a special human.
I know.
Yeah,
When she's like, I'm just a book that maybe you shouldn't be reading.
Yeah.
Like,
she's a national treasure.
She is. She is a national treasure, this one. But it's
What are
like
you
even
doing?
I'm just like there's no words left even for me to describe like what a gift she has been to get to know.
But here's the thing, like on a regular season of Love Island, there might be one person who's like bouncing around, and when the bombshells keep getting dropped in, because bombshells do come later in the season.
Oh, they're gonna keep coming?
I don't know if they will, but typically, yes, you would still get like another bombshell drop. And that would be like the chance for Amaya to meet someone. But usually it's just like a few people that are loosey-goosey around the villa. At this point, I feel like the majority of the cast is fucking single. So I just wanted to point that out because you guys don't know that because you haven't seen a prior season. But let's talk about the Amaya of it all with the stand-on business because I got a real fucking bone to pick with you, Ace. Why do you think that you are judge and juror? Why do you think that you get to go after this girl who, by the way, you've already been incredibly rude to her after you picked her to pair up with, and then you were like, don't call me babe, don't touch me, don't breathe next to me. Actually, if you could sleep in soul ties, that would be great.
Yeah, let me emotionally terrorize you now right after I pick you.
Yeah, like if I cook you breakfast, I hope you choke on it. Like that's how he treated her after he chose her.
Yeah.
And so like, bro, you don't need to go in again. You landed your point. You guys aren't a match. You're not buying what she's selling. So let it go. I was so offended. Were you guys not upset about that? Mike seems so calm.
I know you do seem calm because I have like a ace theory that sort of would encapsulate.
Please give it because my note
if you
is
have to go something that's more direct, then you should go.
No, I just like I think like I said, I think this is a game. Once I realized this is a game show, then I realized, oh, Ace is playing the game the best, right? So at that, if I'm just looking at it from that point of view, I'm like, all right, you're good at this game. And then I find myself being like, well, do you think Ace is like this outside of this? Like, is Ace manipulative? And does he really have a Napoleon complex? Is he really a not good person outside of, like, is this, and I don't know. I lean towards no. A lot of the times I see Ace 7 times out of 10, and I'm like, wow, that's a great piece of advice. That seems very caring and loving and understanding, and just like, you know, maybe 5 or 6 times, and then 2 times I'm like, I could see how you could take that the wrong way. 2 or 3 times, and then there's 2 or 3 times where I'm like, ooh, that I wouldn't have said it like that. You know what I mean? But still, the majority of the time, I'm fine with Ace.
See, I was until last night. And last night I a switch flipped within me because I don't think
But even when you chased after her when she took off?
hold on. I don't think you get to dish it that hard if you can't take it. And Ace was he got up there angry. He was defensive. He was never listening to anyone. When someone was saying their piece, he was not listening. He was just getting ready to defend and say what he had to say. And you then running after you nailed her with your car and drove off just because you see other people walking over. Now you're like, oh, I guess I should stop and see if she's okay. It's like you were driving your fucking Ford F-150 into this chick. Like you knew what you were doing. You could have put your foot on the brake and you didn't because you're so just determined to be the judge and jury. I did not like how when the girls got up there, when a lot of those girls got up there, and you're all under the same magnifying glass, you're all in the same circumstance. And the girls got up there, they answered the questions, they took it in. So many people had conversations. When Ace got up there, he was going to tell you like it is. And there was no conversation to be had. And I'm right. And let me pull you into the conversation. I'm going to pull you into he was angry.
Yeah.
And I don't like that vibe.
No.
You have the floor, Nat.
Well, that's all of that is like it's, because I come up with these things sometimes and I don't know, but then like sometimes when you guys talk, I'm like, no, this is it. This is it. Everything that you just said only supports what like I feel like happened. What I thought was like the greatest thing ever, which was that like finding out that like this was all happening in real time, that like, oh my God, they're still in the like basically this like a 36-hour turnaround, like, but you could be wondering about what I wonder what they're doing right now. And it could be what they're doing right now, like that there was something about that real time thing with it. They're not out there living their lives in the world. They're still there doing this thing. I loved that so much. And then I realized that like the downside of that is that it gives the show and the producers so much access to real time engagement from fans and the comment sections and like who's in the lead, who's getting a bad, who people are hating, who people are loving, like all the things. And so someone like Ace, like I know from the beginning, I think the first thing I shouted out about him was like, he's an op, like, which there's many things. I don't mean necessarily that like I think that Ace has got his hands in things, but I don't necessarily, when I say he's an operator, I mean that it can be, there's several options of like what kind of operator he could be, whether it's self-inflicted, he's decided that he's going to just strategize every single move that he makes. It could be as low level as that, or it could be that he's literally was brought on the show by the show to take on a certain role and to fulfill things that they want. That's obviously the most extreme, and I don't believe it's that extreme. I do believe that you can, if you're a good producer, you can make someone like your favorite and make them think that they like kind of instill ideas in them, and if you did this, or you can give them a little piece of information that nobody else has that will make them trust you more and want to make those left, right, left moves that you're kind of directing them to do, whatever. I just think there's something, I think that at some point, like aside from like what his specific role is, which I don't know, I think at some point in the last week, they either showed him, here's what everyone thinks of you, here's what's going on about you. Everyone's what are the 5 things that are like the fucking top, like the keywords or whatever, like the big balloon words that come up when you type in Ace, and it could be an operative, that he is super manipulative, that he's leading a cult, that he's got minions, that he's short, that how mean he was to Amaya. Because I think that's when a lot of people, regardless, like people that could like never dabble in like the conspiracy side of this whole thing like I do, still saw how he treated Amaya and this girl and like could see that like, oh, you lost a big chunk dropped off on you after you were so horrible to this girl. So everything that he did, it seemed like he was on the ready with a defense for everything, and he was pissed about it. He's also been not that bad this last week. Like not like aside from like what we saw, he was a lot more low key. We didn't see him involve himself nearly to the extent that he normally does, which all just tells me the things that he brought up. He even said, I'm 5'10", but I'm a blah, blah, blah. Like he brings that up. He talks about the thing with Amaya. He brings that up again, which seemed to me like he was trying to reiterate and trying to explain again, like oh, they'll see it my way. I just need to explain it better because everybody's fell off after that. It didn't work because he's just not good at this. He just sucks, and so that didn't work. He was ready with answers about like the people, like, I'm a leader. What have people called him in the comments? What do they call him in our comments? Be nice to that young man. He's a leader. Everyone in other comments talking about how he's leading the pack. There was too many things that he brought up in this entire thing that were like, someone clued you in on something. They either gave you a piece of paper with some stats on it, or they just told you, like, as any producer who has one-on-one time with anyone who's got to give confessionals here and there, like, you've got your one-on-one time with them and just spilled a little fucking, here's what you might want to, these are the things I'm reading. I don't know, do what you will or whatever. Like, it just, that's what all his entire show to me was last night, was in trying to rewrite or defend or come for all the things that he's found out about himself. Didn't it just seem like there was just too many of them?
I mean, listen, I'm not saying it's not true or it's not possible that someone showed him those things, but then in the same way that, like, my classic story of it's not everyone else, Mike, maybe he is a leader.
Well, no,
maybe he is a
is
genuine leader.
Right, but he doesn't want anyone to know. Like,
no, but Nat,
I
how
think
many
he
people do
does.
you know
it,
can
like,
keep a secret? If he is getting like information from one of the producers on like what the stats from America are or all that stuff.
On him specifically.
Yeah.
On him specifically.
I don't think on any level he's got no access to the outside world. They don't have phones. They're cut off from everything. I just don't in any world see that he wouldn't like pull someone aside and be like, yo, they just told me something and this is the information I've got and this is
Why would he do that? Ace is out for Ace. Has he not proven over and over again? Why the hell would he tell anybody?
Well,
He's going to now try to correct all this
it
stuff.
It doesn't matter because even if he did do that, you're not going to see it. We're not going to see it. Like, no producer's going to be like,
out
oh
himself.
man, he said it. Let's
Taylor's
edit
too
that
dumb.
into the show.
He
How about
might
this?
bring Nick in to talk to Nick about it because Nick did some weird stuff with how he like called out Huda even though he pulled her earlier to like say,
But
oh, I
also,
get it.
Let me just
I got your back. And then for Nick to then call out Huda during the thing, like that was weird. No?
I don't know. Like I'm whatever the opposite of jaded is. I'm that with these kids because every time they speak their mind, I'm like, I love that. I love that. More of that.
You loved everything Ace said?
I didn't love it, right? I don't love when he picked Amaya and then he said that. I was like, bro, bad timing. A, bad timing. B, bad presentation, right?
And not necessary.
I don't know. I don't agree with that.
Okay.
Because he had a feeling. Amaya is Amaya. I have flipped on Amaya. I think she's wonderful. At that time, I did agree that she was too much for me. And I feel like we have to say this on every episode now because someone will seem too needy until their needs are met. Thank you, Jen O'Toole, for that fucking global piece of wisdom. So, like, until I heard that sentence, Amaya was too much, right? So now she's Amaya. She's just who she is.
Perfect.
Ace needs to hear that. Like, if they do show him some social media, hopefully they show Jen O'Toole's line to him. Like, Ace, people are needy people will seem needy until their needs are met. And Ace will be like, dang, that's great. Let me go. Hey, Amaya, can I put you for a chat? So I don't like the way he said that he was uncomfortable with how needy and babe and how like full on she was, but he felt that and he said it. You know who else said it? Austin. You know who else said it? Zach. So like, I think
Who said what? Oh, about Amaya.
Amaya being too much, and maybe none of them said it correctly. And I honestly, we were talking while we were watching the show, and was she talking to JD or maybe it was Zach? And like, we were obsessed with her. And this was last night, but I think it was Zach. And she was getting a little excited. And even that was like, Amaya, slow down. And like, I was like, oh yeah, dude, just slow down. It's going to be fine. But you just want to tell Amaya, just slow down. But then I asked them, like, do you think there's somebody who could tell that to Amaya in a nice way? Even if it was presented nice, do you think that she would, and I'm not being a dick, I'm
Yeah.
trying to really understand like how deep it is, right? So we don't have to answer this, kind
Yeah.
of rhetorical. My point is, that's a hard thing to tell someone.
Totally.
All these kids are very open with their feelings and how they feel and when they're triggered, and I'm here for that. Like, let's talk it out, right? It's not always going to be fun, but it's going to be more fun than holding it in and
It's worth it.
wondering what the fuck everyone's talking about and taking that in, stressing, and that's not good. So I'm a little opposite of jaded when I hear them speak their minds. I'm here for that. And then I think at the stand on your business, I think all Ace was trying to do, and I don't know if he did it correctly, and I don't know if it was the time to do it, but he heard Austin saying a thing that he got shit on for. He was just trying to be like, that's what I was trying. He was trying to explain his thing, whether he should have or not. That's all he was trying. And then Zach chimed in. So they were all just trying to say, again, it's one of those 50-50. Were they being mean, or were they trying to tell Amaya, like, listen, you're amazing, but sometimes let's take it to 7, right? Because we're at 12. How do you tell Amaya that? How do you tell it to her lovingly and caringly so that she receives it, right? When all that, so, and the reason I think that is because, and even you said it, that's the best thing he's done all season, is when she was like, I need a break, and took off, and Sierra jumped up. If Sierra didn't get up, Ace was going to go after her and console her.
And he should have fulfilled the jump up
He
and
totally
go.
should have,
Because
but
who has
Sierra
ever-
said to sit down. Sierra was like, I don't think this is a good idea.
When
Chill.
has Ace listened to a
100%,
goddamn person ever?
Yeah,
Wait, why do you think Ace should have
because
gone
it would have fulfilled the thing. Like, you made this gesture, you got up, you were gonna go do this thing, right? Like, he probably wasn't gonna get up and be like, oh fuck, see, this is
No,
my-"
definitely
like,
wasn't.
He was gonna go console her, right? And it probably would have been fucking great. It would have been some Ace shit, like. So, and I'm fine. I get what you're saying, and I would have loved to have seen him be like, no, I'm coming, or let me actually do this, Sierra. Let me give it, But I also understand Sierra and the girls being like, yo, dude, you're the one she's running away
You've
from
done
right
enough.
now. Let me fucking do this. And so for him to be like, maybe you're, like it, I just didn't, it wasn't the only person that I was really like, okay, bro, was Austin. Like, he's the only one that I felt got a little offended and temper tantrum, like Ace. But then again, like, I think Ace is a strong, like, I'm falling into that. Like, you're playing the game, but also I think that you are smart and strong, and you're also
Yeah,
from
but you don't
Watts.
see
Like,
how
that's a
he-
different fucking place to grow up. You can't grow up in Watts and be a pussy.
Yeah, but when he got up there to answer the questions, he was already on the defense.
Because he knew already.
But whether he did or he didn't, anybody else who got up there, they were like, I'm going to take my licks and I'm going to explain what, from my point of view, what's going on. And some people were incredibly, like, Huda, whether you like her or not, she should be like the press secretary.
Yeah.
Because she just was like, this is it. And we're moving on. You got to be a little bit in nooch when you're up there.
Hold on. Didn't Huda throw her fucking cards on the ground?
Wait, maybe, hold on.
I'm done.
No,
I agree with I'm not trying to
Listen.
derail what you're saying.
That's politics now.
No, listen,
that is the modern day
I do
press
think Ace
secretary.
was definitely the most
He came
defensive.
up there before
Yeah.
he read anything. He came up there on the defense. And I just don't appreciate that. If we're going to talk about it, if we're going to stand on some business, you can't just be like, what? And it's like, I literally just said, open the mailbox. Like, and that's the first thing you're supposed to do. And I get you. We understand that Amaya's energy is not right for everyone. Like she said, maybe a book that you just shouldn't be reading. I think where my umbrage comes from is Ace, you already said it to her and you did it in a really wonky way. So you tried to land the point and it didn't work, and you could just sit back right now. Like, this isn't your fight to fight.
Yeah.
Austin She asked you straight up
Yeah.
to your face, does this bother you? And you pussied out every time. She asked you more than once. Does it bother you when I do this? Does it bother? Is it too much with that? Do you like this? And he's like, yeah, I do. No, I totally do. And so you have the opportunity to be honest with her. If you want to say it now, then just say, listen, this is on me. You, like an adult, came up to me and asked me if this bothered me. And I should have just said, you don't bother me. I just wasn't comfortable with feeling so close to someone that I just paired up with.
I mean,
And I think
he
you,
did say that to her,
but no, he didn't.
he did. He did.
I don't
During
think
that whole conversation, towards the end, it wasn't as like perfect and as eloquent, but he did say, "No, I'm having a good time." He's like, "Listen, things are moving a little fast, and that's different." He did bring it up to her. He definitely did.
Last night?
No.
Way
When they
back
were
when they
having
had
the
the
original
conversation.
conversation. Listen, I think she point blank asked him, and I think that he did a crappy job answering. How about that? Maybe like towards the end of the conversation, he sprinkled in a little bit of it, but I think she was the adult who said, "Are you uncomfortable with this?" And he could have just said,
Definitely.
"Not my bag," right? And so
Definitely.
Isn't this the guy that once he did get rid of her and she storms off, didn't he do a little like click of the heels? Like, didn't he like
Listen, I'm
pop
not
up and like click it
I'm
like
not
he was
loving
like,
on
oh,
Austin.
I'm glad that's all done. No, not Austin. Oh, I'm sorry. I thought we were talking about Ace.
No, now we're on.
Oh, never mind. Okay.
I'm basically saying, like, Ace, this wasn't your place. You already tried to land the point. You didn't do it. Like, you could just simmer and settle for right now. Austin, because then Austin went after her. Austin, I get that you felt that way, but when she asked you point blank, you did a piss poor job of just manning up and saying that you were uncomfortable. And now you're kind of coming at her in a forum where everyone's around her, like piling on. So you got to know your audience. You got to know when to say something and how to say it. And if he did want to say it in that moment, he could say, Amaya, clearly I think the world of you. Obviously, we're not a match, and I'm rooting for you to find love. For me, that vibe didn't work. And when you asked me point blank, I should have been more honest about it because it's just not right for me. He just didn't land his point. And then for Zach to chime in, I just felt like, oh God, dude, do you really not see what's happening? Like it just felt like a lot of people piling onto her and
No,
not
it
communicating the point
did.
clearly.
and-
Not that they can't feel that way. They can, and they can say it. It's just, I felt like they weren't reading the room.
Sure. But this is the 50-50, like half, and I'm not saying it's going to be half. It's going to be me and one other asshole, and then everyone else is going to agree with you guys, and that's fine. All I'm saying is just, it could be that. It could be three dudes just trying to get their point across and let everyone know that they felt bothered by Amaya, or, with the exception of Austin, because I don't know about this, what I'm about to say for him, or it could be people trying to help this girl that they do really feel good, like they do think she's amazing, and they're just trying to like, again, you are admit, but like, we're just trying to tell you, it's a lot.
But
like,
that
you
lands
just
my
need to
point even
turn
more.
it down a little.
I'm not saying that they had malicious intent. I don't know about Ace. I don't know what Ace's intention is across the board now. He's got me so in a kerfuffle. I think that you can have the road to hell is paved with good intentions and has a thatched roof of well wishes. Okay. So they could have been trying to, well, no, that's the saying. Like, you could have been wanting to have the most wonderful point and help Amaya be the best version of Amaya, but you are saying it in the most piss poor way. And I just don't think the way they said it was cool.
But do you think that they were trying to help her, or do you think that they were just trying to let everybody know how they felt?
I think Zach was definitely trying to be of service. Like, I don't think Zach was trying to be a dick and just pile on. And I think that Austin was like, oh yeah, see, that's what I was trying to say. But because when he was first presented with the opportunity to say it, and he was just kind of so heavily saying how much all of this was bothering him, and then he didn't, it felt a little like I'm on the fence with Austin. Like a little too late is what it felt like for Austin. And Ace, you got my head spinning.
And you hate all men, so
I hate Austin now. I'm just so
Austin
pissed
bummed
at
me out.
Austin because
his-
I just feel like you shouldn't be here. Like
Agreed.
you're a waste of space. Your voice is on my last nerve. And also every show will do this to me. At one point, I will see somebody have an argument that I've been waiting for. And then I see the messenger who's going to carry it out. And I say, get Paige DeSorbo on the phone now. Because he went and said the things to Ace that I wanted Huda to. I wanted Huda to call out Ace and say, it just really felt like the damned if he did and damned if he didn't was a great, like that really encapsulated. But like Austin's he gets tongue tied and he gets, he doesn't.
And he's not
But
confrontational.
And
him
he's
and
not
Jeremiah
smart.
were
He's just not a
buddies.
smart guy that like keeps it all right here and is like ready to spit it out. Whereas Ace, like as much as I hate him, that is the thing about him is that he does have it all on the ready.
Yeah,
now,
he does.
I think that he lands it in a piss poor way, like way worse than he thinks he does. Like Ace thinks that being right or making a point is going to be like, oh, well, then A+. No, there's a million different things that you've turned everyone off with this. Like, just because you're right, everyone still hates you. Like that, you didn't gain any fans by this. I think you made it worse. And it was very transparent, and we have to be grateful for transparency. We saw that you were out to make 15 points and make everyone else suck a dick tonight, and like it just. And there was no heart. Find some heart, dude. Like in that.
Thank you.
Yeah, find some heart.
That's all I'm saying. Like if you're delivering a shit sandwich, at least do it with a smile on your face.
Yeah.
Like you don't
give it with a side of pickles.
Yes,
you know, some spicy mayo. Oh, what is it? Okay, spicy mayo. Lindsay Hubbard and Wes Wilson have the best commercial right now. I don't know if it's like on regular TV, but it's on TikTok. No, it's so cute. And I don't even like Wes Wilson. I hate that guy. And I watched it like 5 times, like, and shown people. I think it's so cute.
And she keeps acting it out, and it's pretty cute.
Okay, spicy mayo. That's a winning line.
I feel like also Ace doesn't know what love bombing is. No, because Jeremiah was not love bombing Huda.
No,
he wasn't.
They have a different style of things, and one makes Ace completely uncomfortable, and the other one, I'm sure that Ace makes Jeremiah uncomfortable. You know the difference? Jeremiah moves on with his life and continues on his own road and doesn't go, I need to stop my little Ford fucking Ranger right now and jump over to this lane and tell him, get off the road. Like, that's the difference between all these guys. Ace has to insert himself in everything that has nothing to do with them.
Correct.
Unless you're trying to fucking and get everybody off the show. But don't take us for idiots. We know that now. Like, it's not because you think it's right. It's not because you really believed he was love bombing. It's not because you're righting a wrong and you're leading the pact into brighter days and the way that life should be lived. No, it's because you're a selfish little prick.
Well, and you know what's happening? You know how we talk about how like, oh, you could be sorry, I was going to point to Mike, and it's just because you always say it. That's not because I think you're a bad dude. Like, you could be maybe like a guy that's not the easiest to like or whatever, but then they meet your girlfriend and you're like, oh, we love you. And you're like, okay, but Mike's the best. Sorry, I'm just paraphrasing.
You have battered wife syndrome over there. But Mike's really great. We really love Mike here.
Wait, tell everyone how much you love Mike, please.
I can't. You brace for impact.
Yeah, exactly. No.
None of this has ever happened. I also don't get big-headed when everyone says I'm the best.
Okay. So what happened was, unfortunately, because Shelly has been in some way, shape, or form this entire season tethered to Ace, and the Chris thing just went down in a ball of flames so quickly that now I'm starting to have feelings about Shelly. I'm just like, okay, listen, Huda has done stuff in every challenge that, quite frankly, it's like, you know when you're watching like a Muppet performance and all of a sudden the legs go like all the way up here and you're like, well, I didn't even know legs could do that.
Yeah.
Like when she was doing that thing during the heart rate competition and her legs were shaking, ass was shaking around someone's face and the camera was behind her, I was like, what? I am such milquetoast. Like, I thought I was a little spicy. Huda is doing things that I didn't know a human body could do.
You're spicy mayo.
I'm spicy mayo. Thank you. I'm spicy mayo. She's just straight sriracha.
Sriracha crotch.
Sriracha crotch. But like this is what Huda does. So take it or leave it.
Yeah,
So for
I'm so with you. I feel like I've never seen. Keep going. But I feel like I'm very proud. It is a proud moment for me. Go on.
Don't worry, I'll ruin it here in a minute.
So I just and nothing's closed off. You're still like straddling kind of between two guys. So yes, if we were on the show, Nat, and we hadn't met before, but we had forged this great friendship, and you were like, listen, I'm not closed off with Ace yet, but I love him so much. Like I really like him. I think I'm gonna put all my eggs in his basket, all
Yeah.
that stuff. Like if you told me all of that, and like forget Chris, I don't even know he exists
Yeah.
anymore. And then I went and did all that. I could see you being a little upset with me.
Sure.
But I also think you would think, as Natalie, you would be like, but it's a competition and it's to get someone's heart rate up. And we're all playing this game. And the competitions are kind of the like quote unquote safe space
Yeah.
of this show.
And they're where you leave your mark and you're left on the viewers' minds. So when they're beep bop boop in that vote, like if you were so blown away by a performance, like good or bad, you want this bitch to stay.
Yeah.
So she was doing her job.
I know that is kind of what I think. Like I didn't understand, and I wanted to understand why she felt so aggrieved. Like I just couldn't get it. And quite frankly, I think that we're in the majority because I was reading something on Christina Coca's Instagram post. She was saying, she was kind of just like walking us through what an actual definition of Napoleon complex is. It's not just saying like, oh, you're short, nanny, nanny, poo poo. Like, no, it literally is like a broken down scientific thing
Yeah.
about how maybe like a shorter man versus a taller man, how they act, whatever.
The overcompensation.
It's because, and I didn't know this, like if you're physically bigger, you can usually be more physically imposing. You could beat someone up. You could be physically like win,
Yeah.
right?
Yeah.
But because you're shorter and maybe you don't have those physical capabilities, my shit's through mental warfare.
Mm.
So you become really mentally
Yes.
adept at messing with people. And I did not know that was part of the Napoleon syndrome complex, whatever the hell it's called. And Ace
He showed all of this
that's
today.
exactly right. And then she goes into defining love bombing. And I don't know if this is just today's definition, if there was a different one, but what I was reading and hearing other people say, they were like, yeah, Jeremiah was not, if that's the definition, he was not love bombing her. And then when I get into the comments, they were like, yes, Shelly's been losing all of these followers. Alandria's been losing all these followers, which that one I don't understand because I just think Alandria still has been really great.
It's because she outed Huda. It's because she told her secret.
Yes.
And she's also chasing a guy who all of us
I
think.
I
forgot.
think it's more of that.
Yes, that's right.
It's both, but I think
Yeah.
it's more. They're like, dude, she was. Even I'm like,
I was surprised.
Alondra was like, and even I'm like, okay, dude, you gotta fucking let this dude go, or I'm out. Like,
Yeah.
I cannot watch you.
She was
You're
pitching a
too
perfect game
good to-
and just
Yeah,
let a
dude.
fucking grand slam slide with that
Yeah,
move.
we were all about her trying to wake this dude up for a minute. Like, oh, you've come this far. He's worth trying to wake up and get back right now. But the second that we all realize like it's not happening and she's now officially being disrespected, and for you to keep on and keep on and keep like
Well, now she
like you know how we said the best part about him was her. The best part about her was her strength and her foresight and her like calling a spade and just being like cool about things and not like
Almost
understanding
surgical.
what big things were and understanding what small things were. And it seemed like everything got fucking tossed up in the air and she wasn't playing how we
Totally.
watched her move the whole time.
Totally.
There's two opposites happening. One, so Taylor's glow up by beating Jalen, metaphorically beating him
Yeah.
in the game,
Yeah.
right?
Getting the girl.
Getting the girl.
Yeah.
He won,
Yeah.
right? So he had his glow up, confidence glow up. She lost. So she got dinged. Her
Mhm.
confidence got dinged. She
Yeah.
had a little glow down, right?
Yeah.
Second opposite is we always talk about how, and I don't, if it's probably not always, but mostly dumb dudes and girls who try to chase them and like, oh, I'll be the one that he changes for. I'll be the one he stops cheating for. I'll be the one that he stops drinking for. That's a thing. It happens. She's almost like, she's almost doing that like to Taylor
Mhm.
in like a weird, I guess not in an opposite way. She's trying to become that, like, oh, I'll be the person that makes him.
Or he'll remember
He'll
how
remember.
much he
He'll
misses
figure it out.
me.
I'll remind him he's not that smart, but he's moldable. I just need to remind him that this is how this goes, or what. Like
She's
the trajectory that has changed in Taylor's life by this one decision
yeah.
is one of the most monumental. Like, your life could have gone one way, and it is not going there now.
Yeah, he fucked this up so bad.
Yeah. Shelly did finally get Ace, but it was after what felt like a long slog of like the chase and will they, won't they. She's was with
Ace and
Austin
Shelley.
for a while, and then she picked Austin again. Yeah, and then he picked
Yeah.
Amaya. Like, it did feel like we were out on a limb for a while, wondering like, are these two kids ever going to get their acts together? I think that she clocks him as someone who is kind of unpredictable and does kind of find himself kind of like not wandering, like eyes wander. I mean, I think he does do that, but I think that she thought, I'm going to say I want to keep exploring, because if I say I want to close it off with you, he either won't want to, that's embarrassing, or he'll be cool with it, but I've got 3 more weeks. And he could get complacent in that time. I think that this is
Shelly doing all
I think
this?
that this is why Shelly says she wanted to explore with the guy she met at Casa. They haven't explored dick all since
At
she got
all?
back. It's
Yeah.
really just been like a verbal, and
It's
so
so
it is.
confusing.
But they never really did.
Yeah.
And so I think that she made a strategy where I'm going to say I want to keep exploring, because I think she thought that it would favor her in Ace's eyes, like that it would keep him on the chase, keep him on his toes,
Interested.
keep him interested, keep the game interesting. I think that she knows that as much as he can be complacent with a girl, he could get complacent in the game. I think that she kind of just spotted that about him, like I sure as shit did, And I mean, she's no dummy. She's been my favorite this whole time, and I've been wondering why. I didn't not like Shelly this week, but I didn't love her. And like,
Yeah, that's the thing. I did not like her, but I
time.
didn't love her this week, and I
Exactly.
couldn't put
Which is like something. Like, we all
Yeah.
felt like we've loved.
I'm scratching my head.
Yeah, and I'm just not like, hey, Shell, how y'all doing? Like, I just wasn't doing that. She's the one that said she wanted to keep exploring. During the challenge, she goes back and she hits him twice, goes back to the guy. What's his name?
Chris.
So now I think that Shelly miscalculated. I think she thought she was making all the right moves and she had this strategy. And then when she doubled back on Chris, after that, she lost her hand in what was going to happen now with Huda and Ace. So when she got all pissy with Ace, first of all, Ace doesn't take to anybody getting pissy with him.
Yeah.
He's not a guy that goes, oh, she's pissed. Oh God, tell me. No,
He pushes back. He doubles
fucking
down.
Yeah, he doubles down. He pushes back. He finds that upper hand as quickly as he can. And so he then flips it around on her like, oh, you're mad about this? Because that just seems really hypocritical of you. Shelly in that moment knows that she's fucked up her strategy a bit. Like, it's not really working out. Now he's pissed. Now he's standoffish. Now he's walking away. Now he's telling me that I'm intentional with, like, and she knows, I think, because we all know that Ace is maneuvering her right now. Like, she didn't do anything in comparison to what Huda and Ace did.
Yeah.
And Ace has also been doing this whole thing this entire time. He's been shoving his tongue down everyone's throats and grabbing cheeks wherever he can and like gyrating and like whatever. Ace has been doing it this whole time. But he really has flipped this one thing on Shelly. And it's a bummer. And she knows that. And I think that she doesn't now know how to. She's pissed at herself for the strategy that she formed. She's pissed it didn't work out. She's pissed at Ace. He doesn't care. He's flipped it. So he's not listening to her. So her yelling at him matters none. So the only person she has to be pissed at is Huda, because Huda committed the crime, was at the scene of the crime,
Guilty by association.
And so she's taking it out on Huda because she can't really take it out on Ace because it doesn't matter. Because Ace has flipped it on her. It doesn't matter. So I think that people are pissed at her and feeling just kind of like, even though like none of us think that what Huda did was like this, like none of us think that's a girl's girl behavior or whatever, but we're also fucking sick and tired of trying to figure out what the definition of girl is, and we don't fucking care anymore. So we're seeing her basically take out all of her animosity on Huda because she doesn't have anywhere else to put it. And so it feels very like
I can get with that.
Ace is winning. Ace is won. Ace is actually right about you being hypocritical. And now you've all just made us admit that Ace is right about something, which nobody wanted. And, well, you probably did. You like that little fucker. For fucking Ranger. Have you even seen those TikTok videos?
No.
They're very good.
Wait, does he drive a Ford Ranger?
No, but she called him she came at you with the force of an F-150, and I'm like, more like a Ford fucking Ranger, because that's like the little banger truck, you know? Because he's a little guy.
Yeah.
So I think that's what has gotten Shelly all riled up, and we're watching her take it out on the only person that she's able to land any heat on, and it's just not fair. What I think no one's thinking about with Huda is that Huda is only seeing one person. That happens to be the other person that Shelly's also seeing. Explore. I hate this whole exploring thing, so I'm trying not to use it. But so I'm just saying.
Sometimes you just got to use the lingo.
I know,
Nat, okay?
I know. But they're both seeing the same guy. They're both got this other guy they're
both exploring the same guy to see if there's a connection.
Yeah, I feel like they should have
Meet me in soul
what?
ties.
Every time I think of exploring, I think about somebody having their goggles like a scuba outfit on, and they're like down, and I'm like, this is like that's what I think of like you're exploring like because they're in Fiji, so I just feel like there's snorkel gear involved.
That was one of Ian's best jokes this week. He's like, and here comes like Huda or something like that, as though she's Dora the Explorer 30 years from now. And she sits down, she goes, exploring again. I never thought I'd be here. And
I didn't even hear that. That's amazing.
I fucking lost it. I'm like that. Every once in an episode, like once an episode, he really has a laugh out loud. Like, where's he going with this? And then she said it. And I'm like, that's brilliant.
Yes. Okay, so Huda and Shelly are exploring the same dude. I think that Huda knows, as anybody there knows, and knows because it's true, that Shelly's not really interested in Chris. She's interested in Ace. Huda knows if she goes after Ace, Shelly will see that and want Ace only. She'll cut Chris loose, and then Chris is Huda's to have. And like, I just think the whole thing, I think that everybody came up with this fucking strategy and nobody won except for Ace. Because one thing I thought about Ace that I think that a lot of people were like, oh, Ace, you said you were going to war. We thought you were going to go toe to toe with this dude. You didn't do dick all. Ace's war is psychological. It's not physical. It's not going up and bumping chests. It's playing the long game, maneuvering around, setting up little bombs and waiting for it all to explode. And that's what he did. He did get her to feel bad about this other guy. She probably wants to have nothing to do with Chris anymore. Her focus is all on Ace. He won. All you motherfuckers, he won. He beat y'all. And it's a real bummer. And it's made us.
But nobody wins because it's still such a crappy situation.
If Although I want Shelly.
Well, yeah, okay. I have a theory about Shelly and Ace, and also one about Huda and Chris. The Huda and Chris one is so quick. What happened last night is it's only going to drive people like Huda and Chris closer together.
Exactly, which is what Huda wanted. So
100%.
Really, Huda wins, but she's out of the Mean Girls.
Well, she went from like 900,000 followers to 1.1 million last night.
Oh, she did? Oh, fantastic.
So I think she's not going to give a shit because Huda said, she goes, I don't have a lot of girlfriends. And this is why. Like you can tell, Huda probably isn't a girl's girl for whatever that means, right? And so at any rate, I loved when Chris goes, she goes, what's your type? And he's like, I don't have a type. Well, emotionally like unwell women. I forget the exact term he used.
I love that guy
and,
for her.
Yeah. And she's like, oh, I guess like that's me, you know what I mean? Because they do fit together so well because he's a
calming storm. He's
more alpha than Jeremiah was, so he can really like put her in her place, which, you know, as Megan the Stallion told us, that's what Huda needs. And you right, Megan. But
and Mike.
I love Megan. Sorry, I was just giving Megan a flowers. So what happened last night only drove them closer together. Also, totally off topic. Chris, why were you wearing a fleece? Like a fleece sweater jacket last night. I feel like, does Fiji get that cold at night?
I don't know, man.
Oh, okay.
I
I
could.
can't.
Maybe. And it was just interesting to me.
No, it's the same thing I said when what's his name is wearing those socks with his Nikes.
Oh,
Like,
yeah.
and I'm like, I know you get cold. It cannot be that cold
Cold in
there.
Fiji.
But who knows? Maybe I'm wrong.
My Ace and Shelly
That ocean
theory
breeze.
could be. But my Ace and Shelly theory is they're that couple that they meet, they have such a cute meet cute, right? And you think this is the lid for his pot, vice versa, I'm sure.
Yeah.
Like they are so well suited for each other. And so quickly, I mean, within a week, they've had their first fight.
Mm-hmm.
And then within a month, it's just like, you're exhausting all of us. Look what you're doing to Chandler. Like it's just become such a mess, even for the people around them, because you seem like on paper, at first glance, kismet. But really, you guys are so fucking wrong for each other. And at this point, I feel like they shouldn't even be on the island together. Like they
No.
are not right for each other. This is not the couple that should be together,
You
let
ruined
alone
Shelly.
win.
Like you ruined this little like babyface angel. Like you made people give her a second look this week. I never thought that anybody would ever give Shelly
Same.
a second look, and you've ruined her. You know what is funny about Ace is that the way that he. Okay, do you remember when Chris was like talking? I think during the standing on business, whatever, and Chris says to her like she hasn't really given him the time of day. Like I can't remember what their conversation was. All I remember is Shelly going, "You haven't shown me any like big gestures." That's love bombing, Ace. You're the love bomber. Ace is recognizing behaviors and patterns in people and calling it out and getting them out of here. Because what do I always say? When I don't like someone, a lot of times I can look and go, I've done that before. It doesn't take a long life to just know that like
Game recognized game,
game
bro.
recognized game, you fuck. And so I just think that Ace is the most manipulative and the most like unhealthy like partner in relationships, and for whatever reason, and you've said that like something clearly happened to him, which as anyone, if you watch any of our other shows here, like I fucking am never on board with like I love to know the whys, but I don't care. And once I find out, like I'm satisfied with like, oh, I found out why, but like I don't think it's any excuse for anyone. And so I still don't like Ace. I don't care if he got dumped. I don't care if he love bombed someone. I don't care if somebody love bombed him. I don't care, like whatever. You are now inflicting pain on everyone around you. You are now controlling people's destinies, deciding their fates. And I don't care what happened to you.
I mean, he's the reason Jeremiah basically got voted off. And I think Jeremiah got a raw deal.
He totally did. Now, I was glad that he wasn't with Huda anymore because they are not a healthy couple.
Oil and water.
But like they did, like the fact that he had to go and she got to stay, and I'm glad she got to stay. Huda is one of my favorites.
But
I
I
love
do
Huda,
think
but
Jeremiah and Andrina,
yeah,
I actually think they would have been
they
a good
could
couple.
They totally could. And she didn't fucking help when Ace goes, Andrina, when he got here, didn't he come on pretty strong? Like the way she was like, well, yeah. She could have been like, yeah. And so did I. We liked each other, Ace. That's what you do when you like.
But he like bullied her into
he bullied
her
her into it, but she did not help. Like the way she said it was like,
she didn't help it at all.
Could have changed. If you just could have a little different tone with that, we would have been good. But like you basically,
we're gonna go again. But I just need you to end on like an upbeat.
Yes,
like
we're gonna
yes,
go again.
but Ace, keep it to yourself.
Yeah.
Use yourself to land your
Mind
point.
your own business.
Mind your business.
Yeah.
Okay? Mind your business. Wait, really quick, just because we missed this about Taylor when we were talking about Taylor, Alondra, and Clark. And by the way, I do think Clark is handling all of this as lovely as one can. She is in the middle of this shitstorm.
She really is.
Yeah.
She's about to dump Taylor's ass.
I hope she does. Clark, we
really
hope you do.
should. It would carry her so far.
Totally.
After this, and like she's not going to win anything. She's too new. She's not going to find anyone too quickly. But after she gets off this show, to be the girl that was like, I listened to my sister and to like fucking the girls, like the sisterhood here.
Yes.
I listened and
found a new path.
Yeah.
But at the end, I thought it was so crappy of Taylor when it's like, oh yeah, well you got to make your choice, and he's like, and I choose Clark.
Yeah.
And it's like, again, we're gonna go again, and I need you to have a different objective here, and it's to not make Olandria feel like crap. And I get it. She came for
That
you.
was the only time I was like, okay. Like I'm a Landria stan. She's my number one. I don't give a about any of these other people. Like Sierra's second, and then what's her name? Jaden, I think, is moving up. But honestly,
Jaden.
exactly.
Wait, who's Jaden?
Austin's girlfriend.
Oh, okay, I forgot she was
Yeah.
on the show.
Yeah,
Oh, I
totally.
like her too, but like, what are you doing with Austin? It's
Yeah,
weird.
no,
Yeah.
that's the
She's
only
sweet.
thing
I
I
just
think I'm
forgot.
like,
Yeah.
what are you doing with this dum-dum?
I think Sierra's my number one now.
Yeah, she's great. But like but when he was like when he read that card, I was like, oh, I know where this is going.
Yeah.
Like I knew he was going to fucking go.
Totally.
I'll pick Clark. And like I don't want to say she deserved it, but like okay. I didn't.
No, listen.
It was
Brittany,
rude, but
listen.
like it was
There
fine. It was like
he had basically tried. Well, he didn't do anything right.
Yeah.
But all of his actions spoke louder than any words he could have ever said, and she didn't get it. So I
No,
am
I know.
grateful that he is such a idiot, because he's going to get voted off. Like nobody, like no one's here for that dude anymore. He's sealed his fate. But I am glad that he said it
Yeah,
out
Maya
loud.
is
If that's
probably
what it
beating
takes for
him up.
Alondra to
Yeah.
release this
Yes, no,
and be
you're
like
right, you're
moving on,
right.
then like
I just love
that's the only way
her
I'm
and
looking at it.
I'm
No, I am
blinded
with
by
you.
it.
I'm totally with you. She wasn't getting it, and so
Well, we do have one bright spot in the midst of this shitstorm because they really stirred shit up in a way that I'm like, you didn't have to do that, guys. I didn't hate it, but they didn't have to do it. Nick and Sierra, they had a date. They closed things off. Do you have any feelings about this, or no? Because you guys don't like Nick.
I don't mind Nick. Nick is fine. He's growing on me, that's for sure.
Yeah,
I didn't like him in the beginning, but he's growing on me. I do like Nick.
I'm pulling for Nick. Meteor said something in the comments that I think I saved to read, and it's just about like we weren't sure where Nick was in the beginning.
yeah.
And I totally agree with that. I think he was having a little bit of like the bigger, better deal syndrome where it's like, well, I don't want to lock in because this is all about exploring. And what if someone not better, but like better connection or whatever comes through the door, which in all fairness, when he was with Bella Belle Dasha,
Dasha, yeah.
in the beginning, Sierra came in as a bombshell and clearly they have hit it off. But it comes to a point where it's like, this is a big, big world, boy. There is always going to be someone younger, cuter, richer,
Yeah.
smarter, whatever your bailiwick is, it's going to present itself to you, especially if you're going to have a lot of notoriety. She's a dope chick. You should just be happy you landed someone like this. She's smart. She's sexy. She's cool. She's apparently TLC. She's just like, she's the one. And I'm happy that they closed it off. And I'm fucking rooting for them because I need a couple out of this show. Not just like, I don't need them to last forever, although I would really love that. But I want to start seeing more of the love stories and less of the drama.
Yeah. I don't have any respect for Nick. I don't care about him. He doesn't like make me upset. I think that like if he and Sierra win, I'll be like, that's hilarious that your right hand minion won, Ace, and you didn't. Like you like we're kind of using him. I truly believe that Ace was like got him on board to be his right hand from the jump pretty much. And I think that Nick helped him navigate through a lot of things that a lot of the things that Ace set out to do. I think wouldn't have been so easy to do without having the trio of him and Taylor. And so I will find great joy if Nick wins because I think it will just not it wasn't in the plan for Ace, like, and so that'll be funny to me. But aside from that, like I think I just really believe that Nick would have never closed it off with her had he not got kicked off the show. Almost like he was basically hovering over the cliff, like he was looking down going, oh, I guess I'm falling, I'm slipping. I think that's the only reason him and Olandria. Oh God, we haven't talked about the Olandria thing with him. That's another reason that people are fucking bent on her. I think like I haven't
Because
seen
they
it, but like
tried to explore or whatever.
but
That's
like
his idea.
whatever, she gave into that but she's ratting Huda out, and she's siding with she's in the Shelly and the what, like, I think that if they show that clip and Sierra sees how into it, that wasn't just like oh, let's kiss and see if there's any sparks. They like went for it. They like sucked each other's faces off, you know, which I don't blame them, because they were both fighting for their lives. I truly believe that they were both under the impression that like they were going to go home. But I think that like everyone is under the impression of, in some manner, that like this could be my last moment here. I've got to like play it as I
live it like it's my last.
Yeah, I've got to leave it all on the field. And so I think it's short-sighted to say that some of it's okay and some of it's a greater offense.
I agree. And I think that that's also where we're coming from in that challenge where Shelly was so offended by Huda's stuff. It's like, this is a very odd, heightened environment that you guys are in. We got to just say like, okay, I get things get real touchy-feely with matters of the heart, but like these are the rules. Yeah. These are the boundaries. And so we just have to give a little bit of leeway.
Yeah.
We also didn't talk about what we think got edited out. Like, do you not think Huda sat on that dude's face?
I do.
Okay.
I don't care.
That's too much.
Wait, did she say that? Did someone allude to that?
If you watch it, you can tell, like, she literally like throws her leg over in like a reverse cowboy style. And then the second that happens, we cut out and cut directly to her getting off of him. And that's when Shelly's so pissed. So she, like, I don't know if she sat on his face, but I think she put, like, we don't know. We just, that's what it seems like in the cut, the way that it was cut.
If she sat on his face, yes, that is too far. But like,
she was straddling, she was on top of him doing her thing, and he was pulling her in. I would even go as far as to say just the spinning around. If she didn't full on sit in his face, just sitting around and having that ass right there with his hand, like, she didn't need to get off him. Like, it was a bit much. It was a bit extra. Like, I'm not mad at Shelly.
It all worked though. It still worked. One reason that I do have one thing that makes it, that is in support that it would seem that she did sit on his face, is because when Shelly's like yelling about it, she's like, yeah, his heart rate did go through the roof. What'd you want him to do? Die? Which makes it sound like she was suffocating him.
God, I wish we knew. I wish we knew.
I mean, I think we do.
Oh, we know.
But like, all signs point to that's what happened. I'm still just not mad about it. I just think that, like, I think this is a disgusting show. I love it. Oh my God, I love it. But it's fucking vile. And there's no rules. And there's no rules where there should be. There's rules implemented by the assholes on the show when they want there to be. So another reason I didn't like when Sierra got up there and tried to explain her case of why they sent Hannah home, I'm sure she thinks she nailed that, and she did nail it in her presentation. I think it's horseshit. I think the reason is absolute horseshit. Oh, she got two great connections, so she did what she came here to do.
Who was she up with? I don't remember. Was it Huda?
Who she up
Hannah with? And like, who were the three chicks that were
Iris and Amaya?
Iris, Amaya, and Hannah.
Should have been Iris. She was no one. She was there for 5 seconds. It was just, it should have been her. But I think that, and this could come back because I'm a Huda fan, so I am fully open to, okay, two things. Obviously, I told you that when Jeremiah went on that podcast, he's like, I totally thought that Pepe and Hannah would win. Like, he just said it so matter-of-factly, like he didn't have to think about it. So like I said, there could have been just something that we didn't see. They didn't show us. They didn't like feature them as nearly as much as like their actual real connection was. And then the other thing, aside from that, so it's either that they found Hannah to be a threat with Pepe and they just thought, well, let's get rid of her now. Or Huda was in on those negotiations because it was the three of them, I think, at the time making the decision. Shelly, Sierra, Huda, and Olandria. And Huda didn't have anyone, but she had, like, there was like, it seemed like she had a connection with Pepe, could
something
possibly
brewing.
So she could have been like pressing for Hannah to go home because Pepe was like the only guy in that moment that she thought he's the only one here that like
Yeah.
everyone else is kind of already coupled up or just not someone at all that like makes sense.
But also, let's just be real about this. Again, like when I'm saying we got to give some leeway with some of this stuff, you're all kind of out for yourselves in the sense of like there is a game aspect to this show that is informing all of your decisions. We're not all going to get to stay. It's like it's not easy to be up there and make these decisions, and you're gonna be bummed. You'd be bummed if Amaya went, you'd be bummed if Iris went, you'd be bummed if Hannah went. So like we just have to make a call, and this is what seemed best
Yeah.
for the
No.
group at the moment because Huda wanted this, I wanted that. Like, and it just is what it is. It's like we were bummed when you voted Jeremiah out, but like that's the way the cookie crumbles on Love Island.
Yeah. And they're making it about, oh, we thought she had her connections. That's so great for her. She had a great time here. It was time for her to go. Bullshit. It's all bullshit. It's bullshit. Just say it what it is. This is a game. There's money at stake. Like this, we have to strategize, or why are we even here? Like it's just you got to seize the opportunity. I would just respect that so much more, but like no one's telling us that. And then this is obviously just a fucking hot take. But like what's fun without like making a prediction that like you could look like an idiot for, or you could be the big winner.
You've been the big winner twice tonight.
Well, wait, for the other show. Okay. So, I would not be shocked at all if we were to ever find out that Ace and Huda planned this together, that they sidebarred and she said, I just feel like Shelly doesn't even really like Chris. She likes you. And if we could just get Chris out, like I like Chris though. So, but like, what could I do to like, how could we just like get, like, I wouldn't be.
Do you really think they wouldn't show that
Yeah,
if they
that's
had
literally
that?
what
I thought
gonna
that
say.
was like what movie night was all about, was you show
No,
stuff.
we've seen it. But like, so here's the thing about Casa Amor, because usually it lasts so much longer and people are much more far along in their relationships when we split up. So all the girls are in Casa Amor, all the boys are in the villa. When they get back together, let's just say that
I get what you're saying. That's all supposed to be like during that time period. Like that's what movie night is for, is to show the couples like what
but
happened during that.
we've seen it. So it's like,
Right,
now
no.
we're showing you what Nick did,
Right.
Shelly, but the audience has seen what Nick did.
But there's like nothing to see.
But no, but
Movie
the
night's
thing,
gonna be a real fucking snooze fest. Everyone's gonna be asleep by 7 if like that's all there is to show.
no, because like Amaya didn't see Austin sitting in the chair talking, saying all the stuff he was saying about her to Nick. So maybe, and by
Now
the way,
she knows because Ace just told her.
but maybe they won't do movie night this year because Casa was so different. But I'm just saying, when they did do movie night, it was all based on the fact that like he told you he was a good boy and all they did was kiss, when really like he was kissing her hoo-ha and he just left that part out. But I
Yeah.
guess it was a kiss.
Yeah.
And like you see that. It's not, and the
Listen,
audience has
I
seen
understand.
it.
So I totally understand all that. And if I had any confidence that this show was going to do things as they had been in previous seasons,
Right.
I would totally, like, this wouldn't even enter my mind. But it just seems like if nothing's really going the way that it usually does, like why would they stop now? Like, why wouldn't they just bring out all those kinds of pieces and show everybody shit that was said and talked and done and whatever? And I just like, I'm not saying that is like that I'm not like, oh, I'm 100% sure that they planned this together. I just think that it was like such a perfect strategy and it really accomplished, even though like I feel like Huda is genuinely sad that she's kind of been banished from the group and she feels like a real outsider. I believe her tears when she's crying, and
Same.
I believe her that she feels shameful about it, because like any girl does, like even though like guys wouldn't feel a cent of shame over anything, I think that Huda doesn't want to, like, God, she's probably thinking how's playing out on TV right now and whatever. And look,
But
those
you
are her
still
choices.
think she planned it with Ace and did it, and now she's crying about it?
I think that the ultimate goal was for Shelly to realize I don't like that. I want to be with Ace, and just like Ace wanted Shelly to not be into the guy. Like, I think that like what they set out to do, I think it happened. I just don't think that Huda planned for it being her really feeling the heat of like the bad girl
Mhm.
for it. Like, because I think that she probably, I don't know, they know that Olandria just was with Nick. Like, they don't know the extent of like how that makeout session went, but they know that they made out and tried to, they were a technical couple or whatever. Like,
Yeah.
and then, when Huda was in her, she might even have some like just pent up, like when they were all dumping the during the milk challenge and like kept dumping on her over like, you're the most, you're all the drama, you're the most
Yeah.
dramatic, you're the most like, whatever all the things were. She was really sad during that. And I'm just wondering, and they kept saying it was just a challenge. It was just a challenge. I think that she might also be thinking like, well, they've been telling me this whole time, it's just a challenge. It's just a challenge. So I guess it's just a challenge.
I mean, she's definitely thinking that because she said it 57 times.
I know, but I don't know if she really believes it. But I think in a way she might have had some spite about it, but just not really realizing the gravity of how it was going to come down on her.
Like,
how
I think
Shelly would be like, I don't want to talk to you. How Olandria would fucking rat her out. Like, clearly has like decided that she's on the team Shelly and she's over here with Sierra now.
Especially because Shelly was the one during that like whips and chains one or whatever when the bombshells came in. Huda was like, bitch, get off my man.
Yeah.
And it wasn't Shelly the one that's like, hey, it's just a challenge. But Huda got so upset during.
Yeah.
Do you know what I'm talking about?
Yeah. All of it. Like,
Well,
it's all a big clusterfuck of like.
Huda wasn't so upset. That was
Well, no, she leaned
joke.
back and she was
But
like,
she
okay, get
wasn't
the fuck
being-
off of him.
She was being funny, like being serious but funny. Like she wasn't being mean. She was like,
I don't think she was
bitch,
that
get the
warm
fuck
and
off my
inviting
man.
when to the
it was a
bombshell.
challenge. Get the fuck off my man. It doesn't matter. My point is, the only one here, like the only thing I'm buying now at this point is what you just said that maybe happened. Because the only one in this entire game that's had rules is Huda. Nobody else has had any fucking don't touch my man rules, right? None of them.
Yeah.
Well, nobody kissed Nick. So I don't know how Sierra got that to happen, but no one.
Because they were closed off. They came back and they were
but it was the one before that. Before they were closed off, they
that's
didn't.
right.
No
It was the
one,
heart
everyone
rate one.
passed him right up, and went and made out with Sierra instead.
Girl,
but
I don't know.
I mean that.
I don't
I'm
know.
not,
I mean, I don't have a. I don't know.
I don't think that was. I don't think that had to do with them being closed off or like a respect thing. I think it had to do with Nick at this point is just like, oh, that's Nick. Like, that's my little brother. That's like little Nick. Like, I'm not
He's the
gonna fucking
cutest
make
one
out
on
with
this
little
whole
Nick.
show.
He is so super
I'm gonna
cute.
make.
Yeah,
He
and I
might
don't
be
even like it.
cute, but
He's the
like your
cutest one.
brother might be cute too. You're not gonna make out with your little brother if you're getting little brother vibes. You might make out with his girlfriend though, his hot girlfriend,
Okay.
right? So the only one, and like whatever, like, and so what? No one didn't kiss Nick for one challenge. They didn't have any rules. I'm talking about rules. The only single person that had rules was Huda. Vocalized rules, right? So I think that maybe she bounced her booty near Ace's face for spite. Like that part, I'm like, okay, I could totally see that. It's Huda. She gets a little feisty.
Because she has zero interest in Ace.
No, I agree.
Like,
Zero.
not even a sliver
And I don't
of
think
me wonders.
she's
like,
mad
that
at
was
Shelly.
strategy.
I think that's the
And
only
Shelley
thing
knows
that's
that.
happened that's clicked so far in my head is that they poured all the milk on her. Everyone's kind of telling her, oh, she's a bit much and like and you need to calm down and this and that, and you're you and Jeremiah like almost got kicked out twice, right? So I think it was like, oh, it's just a challenge, mother. It's cool. I'm gonna sit on the the king and queen. Like they're the prom king and queen, Ace and Shelly. Like it or not,
Totally.
they are.
No, Nick and Sierra and Nick are.
They are not, dude. Stop.
They
They're
totally
like
are.
the cool couple, but they're not the popular couple.
They're the total popular couple.
I disagree.
I do think it's really interesting if we could just rewind for 1 second that Shelly knows that Ace's least favorite person in this villa is Huda. And Huda has, I think, been very clear that she doesn't really fuck with Ace. Not
you think
that they're
you think Huda's Ace's least favorite person?
now that Jeremiah's gone, yeah. I think he just thought like you're bringing a good man down. He's pussy whipped and now he's love bombing you and then you're crying about. I don't think he likes her one iota.
I think he also knows that she is the closest person on there that has the amount of strategy that he has in his pinky. No one has, but Huda has some. I think that he's always recognized her as a competitor and that he didn't quite have a grasp on her. He couldn't quite maneuver her.
Regardless of if that's his least favorite person, Mike, everybody knows they're not best friends. They're not super close. They've never flirted. They've never had a thing going in both directions. So it is very interesting that
He's
Shelley.
had a thing for her.
Yeah, that's
When did he have a thing for
in the
her?
beginning.
He has he made out with her every time that he possibly could. During the blindfold challenge, he went to her first. He has voiced
Oh my
being really into her.
God, that's right.
He is into her. That's why I also always thought that he was pissed at Jeremiah. Because I'm sending him home because he likes to have a harem. He likes to everyone to be available for what he wants them to be available for.
Yeah.
But he knew she never liked him. She never gave him the eye. She never fucking talked about him. Like as far as she was concerned, he was invisible.
Yeah.
And
Okay.
he doesn't like that. But now I think that like you won't even entertain that that Ace and Huda had any kind of like sidebar about like
I'm not
like
there
Chris.
yet. No.
Well, listen, I don't know how the movie night goes. Like when you said that, I was like, okay, maybe. But like if it doesn't happen at movie night,
Yeah, then it didn't. Yeah, no,
I'm with
100%,
Courtney.
yeah.
Like they 100% are showing that
Yeah,
conversation.
definitely.
So, and I don't know if they wait till movie night. That like I think they show it right before or right after, depending on how it played out. They're not waiting for whatever movie night is 4 or 5 episodes away because, like we said earlier,
But they could because
Casa Amor was so fucking long ago. No, it was 6 episodes ago. It was not even a week. So like
Crazy.
shit happens
Yeah.
too fast
Yeah.
here that 4 days from now, I'm not even going to remember what fucking conversation you're flashing back to and what it's referencing because fucking Nick and Sierra just broke up, dude. A bombshell just made out with Sierra and Nick jumped into the ocean. We haven't seen him since. Like, I don't care about Huda and Ace anymore.
listen, if
Right?
they're going to
Could
show
happen.
us the flashback, if they're actually going to show it, I have not, aside from like a blooper from like when like a gigantic bug flew on Austin's face that they showed like in the after sun thing on a Saturday when Paige was there. I think Paige was there for that. I can't remember. Aside from that, I've never seen them show anything. I think that whatever this
saying they're
movie night
going to,
is,
I'm
it
just
seems like
making
it would be the only time that they're going to show you something that was not aired before. So I'm just saying I think if that did happen and they are going to show it, I think they do wait until like the night that they're going to show anything that, no one
Listen, this
hasn't
whole
seen.
season's been so different, as I keep saying, because normally Casa lasts so
Yeah.
much longer. You get back into the villa, and within the same week, you've had your reunion from Casa Amor and movie night.
Yeah.
Like it's much closer together. So we could maybe not even get a movie night. Who knows?
Yeah.
Should we do commies?
Yeah.
Partial Arts Black Belt said, at the first coupling, Shelley chose Ace. Huda chose Jeremiah. Then Yulisa was last and kissed Ace and Jeremiah. Jeremiah turned the cheek, and so she chose Ace. He lost Shelley to the last man standing, Austin. Jeremiah was interviewed and referenced this when Ace's animosity may have started towards him, which is what you just reminded me of, that
Oh, yeah.
Ace lost out to Jeremiah, and that's probably why, because he's always on the defense. Ace, this is probably why he was gunning for Jeremiah for some wackadoodle reason that I was never remembering.
Dude, if we could just tell you anything, like you gotta relax, man. Like life, you got a long life ahead of you to like be this pissed at every single thing that doesn't go your way. Like how exhausting would it be to be like, add another one to the shit list.
Yeah.
Like everyone's just getting added to the list every day.
I'm exhausted just covering it.
I
Imagine
know,
living
I'm
it.
sweating. It's the lights probably, but still, it's not helping.
MM7365 said, I would love to see Amaya find her love connection and win the show. All three of us would love that.
I don't even care if she finds a love connection. Vote for Amaya.
McFix wrote, Nat, Ace's legs dangling, lots of crying face emojis, dead crying face emojis.
So good.
Also, Taylor is not into Alondria. He never was. And we talked about it.
We're with you now.
Yeah.
We caught up.
Yeah.
Jen O'Toole, quick note on whether or not Amaya was the last to vote when Charlie was dumped or if it was just the edit. Right before she stood up, Ariana said, Amaya, you are the final person to vote tonight. So it's still a mystery whether or not Amaya and Hannah ever discussed that vote afterwards. So She must have been the last person.
That is so
Well,
weird.
it
That
could
we
also be a pickup. I mean, listen, it's a lot to go through, but like, it's not unusual that if that
If the
happens,
camera was on, oh no, I guess
if
they
it was if it's just a shot of Ariana saying, Amaya, you're the last person to vote tonight, and then it goes back to
Yeah.
Amaya, that could have very well been a pickup. If it's a
Oh
wide
my-
shot with her doing it in front of everybody and you clearly see
Yeah.
it, then obviously that it was. But
she'll
like,
tell you. I bet you if you ever run into her, she'll tell you. She'll be like, "Oh, girl, let me tell you." How
I
that
bet you
went."
she will. And
Amaya.
I just want to
Yeah.
say, I could never work on any of these shows because my brain just doesn't work that way. I just think like, oh no, what you said was what you meant, and like I just don't think that way. Anyway,
I mean, listen, most of it's all planned out. But if something nobody can plan, no, like the chance. Well, actually, this is probably not true. What I'm about to say, but
Oh, good.
take it with a different person. You'll know what I mean in a minute. The chances that someone in the pre-production meeting thought that Amaya would have an outburst are pretty slim. That's the part where I'm like, actually, that's not probably true. But given anybody else, right?
Yeah.
Swap anybody else. No one's going to be like, oh, we're going to do this and 100% so-and-so will freak out. Maybe they hope, maybe they think, maybe they produce a situation that will get them to freak out. But that kind of thing, I don't think anybody really could foresee. So when it happens, then somebody's on the walkie being like,
get this
oh,
shot.
fuck, we're going to do a vote. Let's make sure she's the last one to go. Not literally or figuratively, but in the edit, we'll make it
Right.
so that the story is she's
Telling
the
that
last
story.
one. Yeah.
Wild, man. Still couldn't do it. Okay. Maximum Dull finally binged everything in response to the fan reaction to Huda while feeling under the weather. Hope you're feeling better.
Yeah.
The guy clique planted ideas in Jeremiah's mind from early on to intervene in their relationship because Huda rejected Ace for him in the first coupling and then rejected him again with the secret kiss. I don't think it's about Huda. It's about Ace asserting his power. So I just thought again, like everybody's on to Ace, and Nat,
everyone's
you were
on to
leading
Ace.
that charge. She also said Austin pointed out the pecking order of their clique and was onto something with Ace's speech. I'm happy Nick got dumped because he was like Ace's mouthpiece. The audience voting for the mess makes it seem like they took Ace's bait while normalizing dismissive, avoidant, attachment style behavior. Obviously, Nick is back, but so I hope you're not too upset.
I'm real mad.
Meteor Wine said, farewell and adieu to Fair Nick. You had the prize, but you were always distracted by the notion that something better was coming. Low-key bad decision. Not gonna lie, I am crushing on Sierra. Samesies. She is gorgeous and by far has the best fashion style. I totally agree. And the best part, a brain. Sigh. I don't know about a palace, but how about a compound on the beach? I will come to the Sierra by the sea kind.
Great pitch. And look what else you could get.
Oh my God, can Sierra by the Sea be stocked with Meteor Wine?
This is our first gift, the show gift, and it's a pretty fucking good one. Like, not that you guys have to, compete, but we do love a little competition. No one's saying no. Thank you so much, Barry. That was so sweet. It's very exciting.
And we will
day
be
for us.
drinking it on the
Yes.
Valley because some people here need to take the edge off while they're doing the Valley.
I'm going straight from the bottle.
Yeah, I hope I don't get that thing crashed over my head.
Can we flip it over and turn it into an IV for Mike?
Dude,
But that you used
Whatever.
$2 Chuck for the IV. This is good shit. We're sipping this.
I was gonna read that comment because I promised Barry that I would tell him about my compound story, and it's such a long story, but I'll try to make it as short as possible. I've always had a dream to build a compound, and not like a regular, like full-on adult Disneyland with like dirt bike tracks, mountain bike tracks, fishing lakes, full-on amphitheaters, amusement parks with like no joke. We're talking like about almost 300,000 acre like monster
This
thing.
is what Mike does in his in his time, in his spare time.
Now this is real.
Yeah.
And I have an Excel spreadsheet with all the things that I have and like how much
Sorry.
it's all gonna like cost and where everything's gonna. This has been a lifelong project. I always thought I was gonna do this. Still might. Met Natalie 16 years ago. Maybe day 4 was like, let me tell you about my compound we're gonna live on. And she was like, say the word compound one more time, and you will never see me again. And then it took many, many years to figure out how to get her in on the compound, but I realized that she's going to need, we called it Loser Lake. So Loser Lake is
Dang,
over.
what a great pitch.
Yeah, on one side of the compound, it has like some bars and restaurants, and that's where all the motorboats and jet skis, like all the noisy crap. That's at Loser
That's
Lake.
the Juicy Fruit commercial.
Yeah, we don't want that. And then the Quiet Lake is
Who
where
doesn't want a Juicy Fruit commercial?
just you, and I'm building it for you.
Courtney wants one.
That's
I
where,
do.
but that will be
Yeah.
near the beach. That will be the
anyway,
ocean
jet
side.
skis.
Yeah. So that's the
Coors
compound
Lights.
that we're going to.
Yeah.
It's gonna be fun.
Okay. I just well, no, I love you. We have so many comments to
No,
get through.
it's true. I want to add, I think that you went down a prepper rabbit hole, and that's how the compound started.
No, the compound started literally when I was a teenager.
Oh, okay. Never mind.
And I woke up one day and I couldn't figure out if I wanted to go fishing or mountain bike riding.
Cool.
And
Well-
I was like, if I had a compound, and that's literally.
Okay, so the prepper thing happened, and it's a total separate hobby.
The prepper thing
Has
happened
Mike ever
because
told
I
you
was
about that
like,
trucking show?
I got comments. They did. I did, and they loved it. Yeah, the prepper thing came about because of many other things, but then we needed to protect the compound. So
Well, back in reality, we
not
got
real about that.
Ningy Ding told us why her name. Okay, oh God, sorry, Mike got me all in
easy
a
for you to
kerfuffle.
say.
Ningy Ding told us why Belle Dasha
Yeah.
is called Belle Dasha. So for anyone who doesn't know, her real name is Isabel Dash Ann. And so she just changed it to Bella and kept the dash in there because of that. And she thinks it's really cute that everyone's calling her Belle Dasha. So I think it's adorable now. Carrie G said, Nat, I agree with you on your perspective about Ace. I think he's all about winning. And if someone is threatening his money, he goes in on them. Most of the things he says about others is so negative. He'll say some insightful things, but his shitty attitude totally detracts from any positive vibes he brings to the table. I'm really agreeing with that lately. Plus, I think the only reason he's giving quote unquote good advice to Taylor is because he thinks America will choose him over Taylor. So he can offer a few lines of positivity. I mean, all you have to do is look at the size of his back tattoo to realize who Ace truly thinks about himself. Gross. And I was like, that is real good stuff.
I forgot one thing, and that reminds me, Carrie G. I don't know if Taylor does seem to really like Clark, so maybe this would have happened no matter what. But when it didn't take 2 seconds for Nick and Ace to be watching Taylor with Clark off to the side, and you start to hear the rumblings. You start hearing, I've actually never seen Taylor this happy before. Look at Taylor. Look who and Nick says something so cheesy like, "Who's got you grinning like that?" Like it was like they talked about doing this before they talked about it on camera.
Is there no chance that take Ace out of my question I'm about to ask? Is there no chance that these are just cheesy dudes that are giggling and like
No.
geeking out on everybody, and they're all like,
I'm
he
curious
did
how
meet a new girl
Don't be a
that
sheep.
I'm not being a sheep. I'm being a.
I'm with
just
Mike.
Asking,
I'm with Mike.
Okay, you don't think that was weird? By that time, we were all like, it's Taylor and Alondria. They are winning this whole thing. It's hands down. Everyone knows it. Everyone loves them. Like you couldn't find like everyone is into this couple. I understand that there's still some Nick and Sierra fans, but like as far as like sometimes you know what, as a world, sometimes you like to get on board with a couple that makes you feel good about yourself. I think that Taylor and Olandria exuded something that everybody could get on board with. Not everybody liked Nick. Not everybody was a Nick fan. There was a lot of people that thought Nick was super cute. Oh, I like her too. Oh, the two cuties found each other. There is a part of the population that's into that. There's a part that is just staunchly against the super cute guy getting to do whatever he wants and getting the cutest girl. And like, it all seems too easy for a lot. There's a big part of the population that's like that. There was nobody that was not like, Taylor and Olandria are the cutest thing ever. That is a threat. And I think that after that, what Taylor said, you tried to, Taylor accused Olandria of saying that you wanted me to do what you wanted me to do. Taylor is an idiot. He did not think of any of those words himself. They told him, she's just mad because you feel a way about this. You like this girl. You feel this way. Because he asked Nick, like, am I horrible that like I'm doing, and Nick goes, it doesn't matter. It's how you feel. I just think that they were very much leading Taylor to make the choice that he made. I don't know if Taylor would have had the ball sack to do what he did and to feel so staunch about it and say, I choose Clark. Like, it's just not like there's just a lot of things that Taylor has said and done that I think were ushered.
Okay.
Okay, Julie Jones wrote, I really liked Ace from the start, but I keep getting peaks of malice behind his actions. First time I really saw it was with Amaya. Don't do this. Don't say that. Clicking his heels on the dock after he told her he was done with her. That's what you were referencing earlier, Nat.
Yeah, there was a clicking of heels.
Yeah, that's what she's talking about. Laughing at her, Huda, or Jeremiah to make a statement, and then his anti-Jeremiah campaign, questioning people out of votes he didn't like, etc. He was more passionate about that than any of the women, which is true. And Jeremiah never said or did anything against him except not hugging him goodbye after Ace got his boys to vote him out. Ace has controlled and chased all of the love connections that weren't Ace approved off the island. And that's the thing. It's like I was so on the fence because I said it like from episode 1. I just thought he was the cutest little baby dumpling face. And I'm seeing too much now and I'm really... Anyway, Bella, this is my last commie. Bella Lucis says, done. I really wish you could show how she wrote it because each word gets capitalized until it's all caps because Bella Lucis is real done. Yeah. Done with the agenda island. I'm packing up my emotions and going home. Applications for future seasons should have 3 requirements only. 1, active dating profile that includes looking for love/commitment. 2, social media followers under 10K, no paid sponsor posts. 3, attach 5 best candidate and unfiltered full body photos. Bonus for exhibitionists with a face swallowing kissy style. And I actually do think in all seriousness, those first 3 are great. Like find someone who does have a dating profile who wants to really be in a relationship. Not a ton of social media followers because they're going to get it from
2 or 3 of these people have more than 10,000 followers.
When they started?
Even now. But definitely when they started. Like some of these dudes have 2,000, 3,000 Instagram followers.
Got it. I just think it's still a great rule. Like let's just stay to 10K and under. And then 5 candid shots unfiltered. I thought that was great.
I think that's great too.
Yeah. Anyway.
It's great for a dating show. Not for a game show.
Don't ruin my Love Island.
Not for a game show that you need people to watch. Harris, I didn't even think about this. Taylor should have totally gotten on his horse and done a full Shrek 2 rushing to save Fiona from Prince Charming whilst I Need a Hero plays in the background.
You didn't think about this?
I thought that was a Mike Connor original.
You did think of it. Riding in on a horse?
I said that Taylor, when Alondria was getting ready to leave, I said it would have been great if they told Taylor, hey, your girl's you should, and he rode in on the horse and scooped her up. I didn't realize it was a Shrek 2 thing.
Oh.
I didn't realize Shrek went and scooped up Fiona. Dude, are you serious?
Yeah, very.
So good. Shrek was the first like animation movie that made me be like, oh, these things are smart and getting super clever. You would love.
I'm sure I would.
Shrek, like they're so funny. Meteor. On the topic of Riz, I agree with Mike that it is a spectacular term because it is. Perhaps Gen Z's greatest contribution to date. Wouldn't argue. But there's a catch. What? My Gen Z daughter got a low-key ick when I used it, and I was informed that the term Riz is not usable by anyone who is not Gen Z. 100% rule, bumskis. He didn't say bumskis. He said bummer like a proper adult. But yeah, Courtney says she's a rule breaker, so she's going to keep using it. But
and I just am nervous that his daughter's going to read the comments and we're all going to get told on to the Riz police.
But no, it's such a great word. But I do feel I don't really use it. I just really enjoy it. I use a lot of the other words the kids are using because there's something else I was thinking is the words they're coming up with nowadays are so, and I mean this in the best possible, like. There's the classic, you get old, the kids say shit, and you're like, huh? What does that mean? I don't understand. No, these kids these days. The kids these days are saying words, and you're like, oh, I totally know what that means. I've never heard that word in my life, but I know exactly what you mean. And that to me is the perfect word. So you guys are doing a good job. This is just an apology, a Showmance apology from Jalen, or to Jalen rather. Listen, this is Reality Bites, but it's also real itty bitties if you read it differently. And I don't know if that was planned, but if it was, touche. Not even touche, just congrats. It's probably not, but it does say real itty bitties.
Okay.
It does.
I love that they're over here now. They started on Spotify. They were like our first comment on Spotify.
Oh, really?
And they were the first ones to be like, I am so pissed. I don't know how it took me this, like, why I'm finding you right now.
But
That
you
was
found
like,
us,
it was our,
so
I think it was our first Spotify comment ever.
Hell yeah.
Yeah.
Real itty bitties. I mean, real Reality Bites.
Let us know.
Jalen wasn't the one. I think we know.
Yeah,
This
I
is
think we know.
me being an idiot. Jalen wasn't the one who confessed to sleeping with 5 people in one day. That's actually one of the bombshell men from Love Island UK's current season. Whoops. Sorry, Jalen. The only thing making that comment worse on that season was it was literally the first thing he told the group of women when he arrived in the villa. Oh, bro.
Wah, wah.
Sorry, Jalen. And somebody tell that other dude to lead with a different story.
And wrap it up.
Only gets better. I laughed at this for a day and a half. Pepe has personality. I'm going to try to read this in the tone that I would think that you meant it in. So correct me if I'm wrong. Pepe has personality. I don't know what it is, but he has one. He needs to stay on the show so I can keep staring at him. Team Pepe.
Pepe had never really looked that good to me on the show, but I have come across some of like just his social media and like he's so cute.
No, Pepe's cute. He just needs a new haircut.
But even
and
the
not
haircut wasn't
weird-
a problem in these other shots. I don't know how it happened.
You're gonna have to send those to me.
Yeah.
Keep going, Mark.
Yeah, please. I'm going to need the floor for this one. Rachel. To be clear, the whole episode is my favorite part of the episode, but, all caps, the Ice Road Trucker / Lot Lizard / Joe Montana combo, triple threat combo, today was my favorite and so funny. I might have added a couple O's to so, but I knew what you meant. Thank you,
All
Rachel.
3 of those?
All 3. And another one,
Oh,
loved
wait
the
to hear
Ice Trucker.
Mike's compound story.
Yeah.
Your head's gonna
Dude,
explode with joy.
there's so many fireplaces on the compound to tell
Okay.
stories at night. You read The Farewell and Adieu, Nick, right? From
Yeah.
Meteor? All right. I'm going to read just the first part of this one because it literally had me laughing for the other 2.5 days of the week. Patrick Boren. Well, that beginning was surreal. I was just settling into a chair with an iced tea in hand, and y'all started asking me questions about the US versus UK version. It had me wondering if I was supposed to respond via Alexa on my TV remote. Can you hear me? Talk about interactive TV.
That's amazing.
And yes, we can hear you.
It would be kind of funny to
fucking
be
funny.
like, because like I feel like we started doing these comments when we were like 5 people listening to us, and so it was just like really like we're all the same. We're all in our living rooms. This is a living room.
It was
Spoiler
really
alert.
just an extravagant conversation with
Yeah.
strangers.
Yeah,
dude.
totally. And so I guess if you were like watching a show every week and then you just hear like, I feel like Courtney mentioned something, you'd be like, I'm sorry, I'd like spit out my fruity pebbles. You know, I'd be like,
Totally.
what did I say?
Hold on,
like,
Courtney,
are
what?
is someone talking to
What are you
me?
talking
So
about
Truman
me?
Show.
Yeah.
Who else said that? Joanne? Was it Joanne
Yeah.
Greco?
Was that
Joanne, who
me,
we...
Joanne Greco?
Yeah,
like,
yeah,
is there
yeah.
another
Yeah,
Joanne
no,
Greco?
but she said, because I'm also
But
Joanne
months-
Greco. I'm like, we know.
Yeah, no, but months later, like we've been
We've
quoting
talked-
Joanne
We've
for
been
months.
talking
She's
to
like,
her
hold
for
on.
months every single show. I swear to God, I would
Yeah.
say safely 95% easy, if
Yeah.
not more. That's a safety.
Yeah.
We talked about something that Joanne said, and it took her
Months.
6 months to be like, what?
Wait, hold on.
Did you guys just say my name?
We did.
Like,
Still are.
So funny. He was also referring to you, or him being like, he was the one that would said that.
No, he's like, the American one's so conservative.
Exactly, yeah. He did say he agrees with Courtney. They've seriously spiced up the US
Okay,
version
okay.
this year, yeah.
Just making sure, Patrick.
Um,
Go back to your tea now.
Another meteor wine. This one was so good. Let's face it, this show is savage. It's the social media version of Rome's Colosseum. And we are the bloodthirsty citizens gawking with our thumbs stretched out. Mike, it just demonstrates that great programming has a very long tail. Much to discuss with the therapist this week. True that. This is Y'all Gotta Watch This. I'm sure you guys probably already knew this, but for those of you who were wondering who Jolene was, like we were, Jolene is Jolene Lunzer. She's super funny. I guess she's a comedian who does a bunch of shit, and her and Christina did some Scandival stuff. So go check out Jolene Lunzer. Yeah, everybody loves her too.
Yeah.
She carries on. Justice for Landria, Love Island, Australia brought an Islander back late in the season last year. One I couldn't stand. So I'm sure that's what's happening here. They could have let Nick go to the airport, though.
Yeah. I mean, listen.
This is just a shout out to Ningy Ding and Rachel, who apparently are both working as hard as the rest of us.
Oh my God, I saw those.
Yeah. Ningy Ding, a 3.5-hour episode is incredible. I've been working on a very tedious project all month nonstop, and the longer podcast, the better, I say. I'm in till the end. Glad all three of you were there this time. You're welcome. Sorry I stormed out last time. And then Rachel.
Yeah.
I'm kidding. He is.
Rachel, ugh, me too. These are the best to listen to while multitasking at work. So just props to you guys for busting ass and doing work. Also, Ningy Ding, this is for you, Mike, and they put a YouTube link to a video. I think it was Nick Vile and Jeremiah, and they wrote at 22 minutes. It's Jeremiah talking about Huda's palace eyeballs. And how
I listened to the episode because
Yeah.
Nick was like, "What was it about her?" And he's like, "Honestly, I think it was just like her eyes, like the way she looked at me and the way she smiled."
Oh, I thought, but she didn't. He said palace.
No.
Oh,
Like, because
okay,
Mike was
okay.
saying the reason palaces get
Right,
built
right,
about,
right.
or you know,
Yeah. No. Yeah.
And then I also had Baldasha comment because it was just so funny. And then I also like that she likes it.
Me too. Now I like it. Now I don't think it's like ridiculous.
What, Baldasha?
Yeah, no, just the fact that her name is
Oh,
Isabel. Whatever.
Yeah, I'm calling her that. I'm not calling her Belle. And then
but she likes it.
Yeah.
She
Yeah, I thought it was
found out and She
adorable.
was like, "Oh, I
Yeah.
kind of dig it." This from Shannon Fall, guys. I don't think Taylor is into Alondria. All these comments seem
I think I read this one.
shockingly old late now.
Didn't I?
He should be, but he's not. Go back and forth. Watch his body language.
No, sorry. I read it. Sorry.
Shannon Fall, guys. I don't think Taylor is into Alondria. He should be. He totally should be, but he's not. Go back and watch his body language and eye contact with Alondria versus the Casa girls. I want better for her.
yeah.
We all do.
We
America
all do
does.
now.
Yeah, I feel like if Sarah McBride was like, "I'm so glad Jalen's here. I've like wanted this so bad for Alandria," and then like she sent him home like 5 minutes later, and it was like, I wonder if she's like, I wonder if she liked him, but she liked Taylor more.
Yeah.
But that would be a bummer to have to think like what could have been, because he
I think
seemed pretty good
Taylor-
for her too.
I think, well, and she said this, I'm not like deep diving anything. Just I think Taylor got her brain and Jalen didn't.
Yeah.
Jalen was super sweet, but I don't think she was super mentally stimulated by him. So, plus he banged those 5 girls.
No, we didn't.
I'm just
Jalen,
kidding.
sorry that we misinformationed you.
I'm also going to read another comment because I replied to Shannon. This is the comment that Shannon Fall wrote that I was like, "Oh no, I'm totally swat." Like Natalie red pilled me on the drive yesterday, and now I'm thinking everything different. And her response to that, Nat in a pleather black trench coat and sunglasses getting you to see the truth about the 3 blind mice. And I was like, I basically was like, she totally did. It was amazing. I said the amount of time she made us stop to sit on a random park bench so she could hand me envelopes full of information made the drive a little long, but well worth it. And she wrote, "Fuck yeah, it was."
That's adorable.
Dude, it was one of
I didn't
my
even see that.
favorite back and forth. This is definitely, and you've heard us talk about this comment before, but now you're getting the full deal. This is definitely commenter of the month award probably going on the wall, or comment of the month. I don't know if we're going to start doing that, but if we did,
Jen O'Toole.
Jen's the winner. Sorry, everyone. Amaya needs someone who offsets her natural energy, which should not be labeled as too much. You are correct. Amaya, I apologize. I know you're watching. Austin has the general temperament that could work, but she also needs a guy who can calmly communicate that she is 100% okay as she is. This would allow her to chill more naturally rather than always feeling criticized and shut down. Austin is not confident enough to do this for her. In Casa, JD did this for her. He validated her and she cried. That's the energy she needs. I wish we had like a.
That's for Truth for Peace.
Sorry. Well, we need a different one.
Yeah, you need an air arm. Pew, pew, pew.
When your needs are met, you will be less needy. I mean, fuck. That's so
Yeah,
good.
so good. That
It's
should honestly be your
so
last
good.
one. You
It
can't
really
you can't
should.
get better than that.
Um,
Maybe though, it only gets better.
Y'all gotta watch this. Says TJ gives big yacht dude privilege energy. Agreed.
Agreed.
It does. I wrote that. I went to school with a bunch of TJs. I grew up in Newport Beach, but I didn't have a dad or a yacht then, so I couldn't like say my dad's gonna do whatever or get on my yacht. But I grew up with a lot of those kids. I got my dad later in life.
Okay. Shannon Fall says Ace miscalculated on how to win America's heart. Instead of coaching Taylor on what he needs to do to keep Alondria happy, Ace should have been encouraging Taylor to be honest with Alondria and not string her along until someone he's physically attracted to comes along. I think America would have responded to Ace protecting a woman's heart instead of his bro's position on the show.
Yes, Shannon.
It really is like as simple as that. Two things about that. I'm glad that he didn't because I hate Ace and I don't want him to show anything good. And then the other thing, when we were talking about him, how he starts to run after Amaya, and I said, I just like shot up and I'm like, this will be the greatest thing that Ace has ever done. Of course, he stops halfway, which Mike will tell you, oh, well, it's because somebody told him to stop, which I will say it's no, he didn't listen to anybody this entire season. So why is he going to start now? He didn't really want to go comfort Amaya. He's probably pissed he has to do any of this. But I'm glad that he didn't, because when I said that, I said it in the context of this will be Ace's greatest moment as a viewer watching.
Yes.
I'm glad that he didn't even have the balls to complete that mission to make anyone wonder, is Ace a good guy? Is it? You don't have to wonder. Okay, dun, da, da, da. It's Truth for Peace for Freedom. I'm fashionably late to the party, but I'm here now. I'm about 8 hours behind you guys, so I don't have the education that you all do. Based on what I've watched so far, I'll give a short overview. I watched Love Island Season 6 because of Ariana. If she thought this show was cool, I had to give it a shot. I liked it so much, I also watched Season 5. Watching these shows is such a huge time commitment, but they are so addicting. It's nice to get lost in a biodome-like world where you don't need to worry about food or finances or outside news. The sun is shining and the hormones are flowing. The start of Season 7 mixed the contestants with shipping containers, which gave me an eerie feeling. That's a combo that shouldn't mix. What is this message they are sending? I almost stopped watching the show due to this reason. Their dance number was cheesy as hell with an extra order of queso. I almost stopped watching due to this second reason. The breakdown of the characters. Huda is Trisha Paytas. I don't know who that is. I'm guessing she has a borderline personality disorder. She's very beautiful, but she's a train wreck. Ace is Lil Bow Wow. You got the Lil, right? He claims he is 5'10". If a short king gives you their height, you must subtract 3 inches to get closer to the truth. About Ace's back tattoo. Mike, would you consider getting a tattoo of your name on your back with that size and font? The font is really...
Just to pause for a second, I think I might have gotten myself into a legally binding contract with Truth for Peace for Freedom.
Oh, good.
Yeah.
What?
If we get 500,000 subs on this channel, I said I would do it, but mine's in Wingdings font.
Iris has a keyboard smile. Why do people do this to themselves? The artistry of veneers has not yet been perfected. My apologies if she was in a rollerblading accident and lost all of her teeth tripping on a ruck on the road. If not, fair game. Nick looks almost exactly like my high school boyfriend. Pretty face, dark hair, green eyes, lots of giggling and smiling. He's not a boy, not yet a man. I love that he's a nurse and is dying to start a family. Well, I saw a TikTok that had somebody like on a ski boat, like out in the middle, like where it could be like the Fijian waters. And it said it was just captioned, on my way to pick up Nick and Amaya and take them back to the hospital. We're short-staffed. Which I didn't realize Amaya was a nurse.
Yeah, they both are.
One day soon, I really hope this stops being a part of my everyday fucking repertoire or whatever. But like having spent so much time in hospitals in the last year, like there were nurses that I just lived and died for. They were mostly ones that were like Russian or like Slovenian. Like I loved ones that were, because they just really fucking gave it to you. I think that I would have probably just shifted any inheritance that I get to Amaya if she was a nurse. Like that would have been like, I think she would be the greatest nurse that ever lived.
I do too.
Maybe not for her coworkers, for her patients. They would be like, she made every second that I had left worth living. And I'm sure her coworkers liked her too. But you know, sometimes coworkers can be fucking assholes. I mean, the people that really
Are you talking about
deserved
me?
it. Oh,
Well, she sure should not talk about me. Do the math.
Jalen is a trucker cowboy, 50 Cent. Not wrong. Paige reminds me, I'm sorry, Pepe reminds me of a Jersey Shore meathead, mostly just the hairstyle.
Yes.
I need to sit him down in a chair and check for a bald spot. Balding is not a deal breaker. I just wonder if this is the hairstyle guys don to make it appear their hair is thicker than it is. Lots of hairspray needed. Shelly and Alondria are black Barbies with very cool personalities. Austin is Fabio. Do you remember when Fabio got hit by a bird while riding a roller coaster? I do, because I worked on Jay Leno's trivia show.
Yeah.
Lots of fun facts working on that show.
That one's always on the
I
trivia.
forgot that you worked on that show.
Yeah.
Bro, I remember that Fabio getting smacked in the face by a pigeon.
Yeah.
That was so dope.
You would like call me or we'd be working on something and you would just say something so random. I'm like, where? Oh, right. You're working on
Yeah, like because I'm not like a trivia person. So having to do that 12 hours a day, just go through all those questions. I was licensing images for all the questions. And so that photo is very expensive. We didn't get it. I think we had to like steal it off social media maybe.
Yeah.
Because that's what's it called when you get it off someone's social media? It's called fair use. Yeah. Bum, 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 bum. Dun, 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 dun. Austin is Fabio. Okay, you got that. Anyway, I can see Austin with a dominant woman, specifically an older alpha rich female like Adrienne Maloof.
100%.
Dude, I wouldn't have even thought of that, and that nailed it. We love Adrienne Maloof.
The Maloof hoof.
Yeah, I hate that Lisa said that about her little shoe.
That's a bummer.
And I love Lisa.
don't know. I mean, maybe pool boy action, weekly pool boy for her, but not like full.
No, Adrienne Maloof was dating one of the Bush heirs, and he was like 30 years younger than her or something. So this tracks. Maybe
but
not 30
at least
years.
He was a Bush. He wasn't a pool boy.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
I don't think Austin's.
every sinner has a
gonna-
past, and every saint
Yeah.
has a past, and every sinner has a future. So
Yeah.
he could get rich.
Charlie is Dame Fire Fuego. He's my Greek gladiator. Perfection.
Ugh.
P.S. After I gather more intel, I'll report back. In Morgan Freeman's voice, she did not report back.
Yeah, because Charlie got sent home.
Yeah.
She's
She's mourning.
Yeah,
She's in mourning.
still in mourning. What do
booking
they
a
call
flight to
that
the UK.
after
She's
you have
reported
to do,
enough, and we thank her for her service yet again.
yeah.
Okay.
We did it, guys.
We did it.
Like and subscribe.
Yeah, do it. Tell a
Do it.
friend. Love you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye, everybody.